Hey, what's up? It's Comic95 the Savior, and for this video it will be a Rin's Japanese journal. If you are new to my channel, to quickly explain this, please understand that this is a journal, meaning that I'm telling you about my actual life here in Japan. I'm not asking you for your feedback, your input, how you think I should feel, what I should say, do, etc. Sometimes I do ask, but this is not one of those situations. Please understand that this is my life. I'm expressing my feelings, my thoughts, and just as you would do in your life, you normally make a journal to write about sad moments in your life, things that make you angry, things that you wish you did or did not do, etc. This is no different, but it's in video format. This is raw. This is unfiltered. I'm not trying to be politically correct. I'm not worried about hurting people's feelings. I'm telling you my experience. I don't care if you can't relate or this didn't happen to you. It's my life. Please also understand, for the hardcore weeboos here, I don't give a shit how much you love Japan. I'm sorry to break it to you, but I'm living your dream here and you're not. For those of you that do live here and have on your weeboo glasses, I feel sorry for you. But I'm not going to bother to get into that. So, anyway, just as you write inside your journal, it's not going to be normally about super happy, fun, great things, etc. Well, this is the same way. This does not mean that I hate everything in Japan and my life is awful, blah, blah, blah. I never said that. But I do want to also say that please respect, these are my thoughts, my feelings, my life, and just as you would not go to a Japanese person's video and shit on them for complaining about their experiences in the US or Canada or anywhere else that they happen to live abroad, don't bring that bullshit over here or you will be blocked. Anyway, moving along with the video. Let me also give this quick little brief whatever about myself for those of you that are new here, because I know new people are going to click on my channel. I have been living in Japan for nearly 10 years. I don't need you guys to explain to me about racism or what people meant or how I misunderstood. Let's get that out of the way. Secondly, I'm married to a Japanese man who was born and raised in Japan. He's not half Brazilian, he's not, half Korean, he's Japanese. And I say this to let you know, because a lot of people seem to think, oh, you just misunderstand and, ignore the fact that I'm literally married to a Japanese person. I'm pretty sure that if my spouse agrees with me on something that I talk about dealing with Japan, he's probably more right than I am and you are. So anyway, off of that, I also want to add that in addition to me being here for practically 10 years, I've lived in several different cities. I speak Japanese, and I went to school I went to school with Japanese people. I learned Japanese in school. I took Japanese at a college level. I don't need you to explain to me how, oh, you misunderstood in Japanese culture. I cannot tell you how many times my people try to Japan, that should be a word, Japan-splain to me. And even though I'm not Japanese, it's like, I didn't just come here yesterday. And unlike a lot of people that have been here even longer than I have, because I should also add, the length of time you've been here doesn't mean shit if you don't know how to speak it, understand and comprehend Japanese, and you also don't spend time with Japanese people. Because I said this before in older videos, but I literally had a best friend here that was completely fluent in Japanese, but she didn't understand Japanese culture. And back then, I couldn't read, write, or speak. I couldn't even tell people where I lived in Japanese. Not even joking with you. I couldn't read any kanji. I couldn't even read the major cities, Shibuya, Shinjuku, etc. here. But I knew things not to do. So for example, I told the story a million times about her trying to help this Japanese girl that pushed herself past the train doors and smacked into the doors. And so she's talking to her in Japanese. Are you okay? Oh my gosh, you must have hurt yourself. And she embarrassed the girl so bad she got off the train. And here I am, my black ass. I don't speak an ounce of Japanese, but I knew the girl was not getting off at her stop. She got off out of embarrassment, and I was right. She went to another train car and, waited there. And got on, I guess the next train, was the next train or the same train, whatever, long story short, she was waiting in line to get another train car door. And then my friend realized after I said that, she's like, oh, I didn't know. People can actually learn a language and not know the culture, which is exactly why a lot of you foreigners that aren't American sure have a lot of thoughts and opinions on the U.S., claim you know everything about life in the U.S., claim you know what it's like to be an American, and meanwhile, you're literally begging for a visa to Japan because you can't get one for America. But we're not going to talk about that. Back on subject. Did I hurt your feelings enough? Like I said, this is not a sensitive snowflake section of YouTube. If you want the happy, I love my life in Japan, everything's wonderful, bullshit lying videos, there are tons of J-vloggers that offer that content for you, but that is not here on this channel. We talk about real life here. So, now that I've wasted 5 minutes of this video explaining to people that are gonna still be inside my comment section, let me add one last thing. I love Japan, but Japan has problems, and moments like today remind me why I don't want to be a Japanese citizen. And that is because Japan is living in its Jim Crow era. I've had this happen to me so many times before. Sorry, as my eyes itching as I'm not crying yet. I wanted to cry earlier. I've had this happen to me so many times here in Japan. Let me also warn you, if I do cry, I'm sorry. I'm trying not to. But I told myself I was going to make this for Patreon, but I was like, no, I want everyone to publicly hear my story. Because I'm going to go full Karen mode, as you all call it. I've never done this in Japan, ever. Like, I've written a bad review, and honestly, I want to write a bad review for this location, but I'm not going to do it. All I'm going to tell you is that the store was in the Ikebukuro area. That's all I'm going to say. And I leave it at that because there's lots of these stores in that area. I had a bad experience at My Basket. And again, personal privacy reasons, I'm not going to leave a review there. I've actually only left a few reviews at places here in Japan. And I got rid of one of my negative reviews. I can't even remember why I ended up deleting it, which was the Canadian wing place that used to be in Osaka. I don't know if it's back or not. Loved the place, but I had a really bad experience with one of the staff members there, staff/owner, whatever. I don't even remember what happened anymore, but I got rid of it. And I wrote a bad review for the burger place that I went to last year. And I wrote a good review for this black restaurant in Osaka, which if you live there, you know what I'm talking about. But after I found out he was gossiping about me behind my back, or really right to my face, but then I realized he was also doing it behind my back, I was like, you know what? I'm not leaving you a 5-star review. And I had pictures and everything. I'm like, I'm not helping your restaurant while you're backstabbing me, being nosy and gossiping about me. And I hear when people ask fake questions when they know what's wrong, but they ask you just to see if you're going to tell them. I swear, black men, my father's another example of this. Sorry, y'all. I got to drag her. I'm sorry. Y'all act like women sometimes. So this is an example of that. I have never seen a grown-ass man so old as my daddy come to me to gossip. Ask me shit when you know the answer. So anyway, off of that, let's get back on subject. Sorry, black men, hold that L. Back on subject, all right? Now look, we're going to hold this L together. I decided that I wanted some cereal, right? I literally have on the other side of this camera a big box of Kellogg's Frosted Flakes cereal that I bought on Amazon last week. I don't know what day. I think I got it on Sunday, Monday, whatever. Anyway, in fact, it might have come earlier than that. Sometime last week. I don't remember. But anyway, today is also Sunday, so it's the start of this week, right? So the weather was bad yesterday, and I realized that I should have gone to the grocery store yesterday because there would have been pretty much no one there. And I forget what the schedules are, but I have mixed feelings towards My Basket. And so again, to kind of go back to it, I didn't leave a review for this place because if I do, people quickly be able to figure out where I live. Even though you can also just assume that I happen to have had a bad experience there. But then I wouldn't be able to tell my story the whole way. So let me explain this. This My Basket is literally steps away from my place. I can literally see who goes in and out. I can see when they close. I can see when the gate goes down and up. I can see when their deliveries come. Everything, technically, from where I am. So, not exactly in my part of the building, because where I am, I have a nice view over Shinjuku, Ikebukuro, whatever. I can see all of that out my window over here. However, on the other side of the building, if I go to where the elevator is, I can see perfectly, that whole area. So long story short, I go here all the time. And I should also add that I don't really like this store, but I started going there more because even though I do like Life costs way too damn much money. And two, it's really far, for me, walking-wise. I will admit, as embarrassing as I guess this is to say here, I guess, but not where I'm from, really, because, bikes are for poor people. I never learned how to ride a bike. I had the opportunity to do it, and due to my not so great upbringing, that was taken from me. And I think I made a video talking, I did. I made a video talking about that already, but you're not going to see that video before this one, more than likely, because I'm going to make sure that I push this one before my other journal videos, because I'm just that frustrated. I should also add that I was literally going on a hiatus for this past week of not uploading, or not recording any new videos, because I literally have over 1,000 videos, without exaggeration, that have not been edited or uploaded yet. And I'm literally uploading videos as this video is being recorded. And so I was like, you know what, I don't feel like doing my hair and makeup. I don't feel like getting dressed. I don't feel like doing anything fancy. I want to wait and push those videos out and bite my tongue, and anytime that I come up with a video idea, watch the news, read something on social media, just type it down in my notes and save it for later, to talk about it later, take screenshots, whatever. So I told myself I wasn't gonna do that today, and yeah, I just spent the day lounging around the house, minding my business. I didn't even bother to do anything to my mini twist, nothing fancy going on today. So anyway, I got the idea that I wanted cereal, and I decided to go to My Basket to get some milk. And I went there, and I should also add this, I bought my, where's my jacket here? I didn't bring the bag. I was supposed to show it to you guys. Hold on one second. Let me get the bag. Okay, I got it now. I have this Trader Joe's bag that my mom got me last year for like my Christmas/birthday gift. And y'all, I swear, like, this is like the downside to having older parents. They don't understand sexual jokes. I did not want to walk outside with this "get your peanuts here." It is Trader Joe's, and I like Trader Joe's bags. And the sad thing is, like, we were buying these bags before, like, they were trendy, and the little, like, dusty thing. I had no idea that Japanese people knew about Trader Joe's. So, like, when I first came here, I was like, when I was living in Shibuya, I was like, oh my god, like, I saw somebody with a Trader Joe's bag. I had to rub my eyes. And then, like, after being here for years, I learned, oh, they like bringing these things back from, like, Hawaii and California and whatnot. So, such a weird thing, considering that the majority of people don't use reusable bags, in my opinion. Because this was a trend before they got rid of the free plastic bags. Because if you're new to Japan, it used to be where you had free bags here. Like, they used to not charge you for them at all. Like, they were totally free. You can get as many as you want. Some stores did charge you for bags, but a lot of them did not. So anyway, long story short, yeah, like, it has, like, peanut butter cookie recipes and whatnot, or a peanut butter cookie recipe, like, on the bottom of the bag, which was nice. My mom knows that I love peanut butter cookies, which, FYI, if you ever want to buy me a gift, peanut butter cookies, Reese's, peanut butter, Flamin' Hots, send them my way. But anyway, I just noticed this on the side, this dark chocolate peanut butter cup steam. But anyway, y'all don't need to see the back, this isn't important. But, like, doesn't look like a dick in some balls. Like, why would my mom do that? Like, anyway. My husband says that he didn't think of it that way, but I did as soon as I saw it. So anyway, yeah, I went to the store and I was thinking, like, okay, like, you know, I'm hoping when I was on my elevator, I made a journal talking about this before, but you're not going to see, like, this in time. This one might be first. But I made a journal, a few of them actually, talking about how I hate going out at night, or really any time of day, because I always have bad luck. Like, every time that, like, my hair is perfectly done, makeup on, nice outfit, I run into no one. Whenever I'm looking like a total mess, you know, sweaty, nasty, whatever, go outside, like, to take out the trash or check the mail, because I live in, you know, an apartment building. I'm on, you know, one of the top floors. So there's always a risk the elevator is going to stop somewhere. And this building is not like the place that I lived before. This building is big, and it's like a family building. So, like, there's lots of kids, lots of married couples, boyfriend, girlfriends, whatever, all type of stuff going on here. The places that I lived were for singles. So, like, there would be singles and, like, couples, but people that had no kids. So people that were either boyfriend, girlfriend, or that were just married. So, long story short, this is also a luxury apartment building. I was surprised. I didn't run into anybody, right? So I thought, you know, let me just go ahead and check the mail now. Because knowing my luck, on the way back, there will be someone there. As soon as I'm done checking the mail, then somebody's going to be there, you know, waiting in line to get in the elevator. So I normally tell myself, you know, look your best to go outside, because you never know who you're going to run into. And I don't mean like people that I know, but rather it's embarrassing to go outside here more than in the US, because I was never one of those, like, ghetto people. Like, I don't do the whole bonnet, pajamas type crap that people do in the US. I'm not one of those type of girls. My mom would never let me walk outside like that. I was taught to have some class. But what I will do is, if I'm going outside and, like, you know, not doing anything fancy, like just doing regular shopping, I did, when I first came here, being honest, I did normally get all dressed up. But, like, I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I don't really give a shit. I'm grown. Like, I stopped wearing makeup to go to the grocery store, and I'll literally just, like, you know, put some water in my hair, brush it back into a bun, whatever. So, back on subject. I went to the grocery store, and I did pass a lot of people, but, like, they were on the other side of the street, and actually something embarrassing happened to someone else. I didn't really see it, but, like, this woman, either she tripped over her daughter that was in front of her, or her daughter was about to fall and she was trying to catch her, because, like, she literally screamed, and it's like, calm down, girl. But anyway, long story short, I was happy that the attention was off of me. Like, people were looking, but, like, not really, like, looking. And another, like, little secret that I talked about in an earlier journal, which you're not going to see before this video, because, like I said, I'm changing the order to get this video out first. I was talking about how, as I've gotten older, like, I learned a trick to just go outside at night, because you feel less pressure to wear makeup, because nobody can see, like, details of your face. Like, nobody could tell whether you have, like, an acne scar, if you have a pimple. Like, nobody's looking at you like that. It's too dark outside. And it's not just because I'm black. I mean, like, even with Japanese people, like, you don't see that type of shit. But, like, in daytime, everything's super bright and obvious. So anyway, back on subject. And this also goes for hairstyles too. Like, your hair ladders. Your hair matters less when it's late at night, like when the sun is down, which is starting to set right now. But anyway, yes, it's just after 7 p.m. right now. I think I went to the store like around 5:30-ish, 6-ish or whatever. It took me a while to, like, restart my computer because the camera wasn't working, and I had to put away, like, the milk that I bought. So anyway, let me get to the story. I go into the grocery store, and at first I was like, let me go all the way around the store. I was like, no, I'm going to take, like, the shortcut and go around to the milk, because I know that I'm in there just to get the milk. I don't want to get distracted, don't want to get anything to, like, it will inspire me to get, like, a peach Coke again, or, anything to waste money on. And so I was using, I lost my Passmo, sadly. So I was using my Ikoka, the Osaka. I can't think yet. IC card. I'm losing my vocabulary. I'm like, what was the word I'm trying to look for? So anyway, I grabbed the milk, and I purposely didn't grab the one that was in all the way in the back, because, like, I wasn't sure if there was any back there, and there was more people inside the store. And as I said inside of an earlier, like, journal video, I didn't want to be a bad-mannered person and, like, touch all the milk, even though it's stupid, because, like, they're not going to charge me, I'm not going to pay less money to get something that's going to expire sooner. So I'm sorry if you think I'm rude, but if y'all don't want people to grab the milk all the way in the back, then don't put it out on the floor at all. Anything out on the floor is fair game. And it's actually funny too, I didn't say this at the last video, but there's no sign up in grocery stores anywhere, and it's also not illegal to move stuff to get to what you want. Like, you can legally take everything off the shelf and put it on the floor and grab what's in the back. Nothing's stopping you from doing that. It's just an unwritten rule that is bad manners. Now, mind you, the milk is inside of, like, a crate at my basket, so you can easily just grab the whole crate, put it on the floor, or even just pull the crate to the front, which is what I do. I never put the crate on the floor. I just pull it to the front, and I grab one from the back. Because it's like, why would I want a milk that's going to expire, like, 3 days from now, or 5 days from now, when I can get one that's going to be good for 10 days? Because also, most recipes in Japan don't call for milk. They don't really use dairy products. Cheese, milk, and yogurt are not commonly eaten here. But, you wouldn't know that from watching some people's videos. But we ain't gonna say any names. But back on subject. What was I about to say? So, of course, me being an American, I do use these things a lot. But even here, like in Japan, I don't use them as much as I normally do. And like with the cereal, my husband does eat cereal, but like I normally cook him like a normal breakfast. So I don't want it to go to waste. So I want it to last longer, because really it's not going to last that long once you open it. But sometimes, like, I'll think that I want cereal, and then the next day comes like, yeah, I don't want it, and then 3 days go by and I still don't want it, and it's like, fuck, I only have 2 days left. Now I gotta hurry up and make a whole bunch of milk-based recipes. So anyway, sorry. Speaking of my husband, I forgot that, like, my computer is like hooked to my phone. I just got a notification here. He texted me, what do you want for dinner? Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Okay, so anyway, moving along. So yeah, I grabbed the milk, and like I noticed that when I was on my way like to cut through the store, I saw that like who the staff guys were, and I was like, oh fuck, it's the 2 guys that I know to not be so friendly. But like it's really this one guy in particular. And so it's this tall-ish guy, tall for Japanese. He's not truly tall. That has on like glasses and has a thinner body type, and the other guy doesn't. He's also about the same height, but he's like a normal weight. He's not fat, but he's normal weight. This other guy, he's in a normal weight range, but he's on the thinner end. In fact, the best way that I can describe it is, I would say that he's maybe a little bit thinner than my husband. Like my husband's not skinny, but he's not fat. And so I guess maybe my husband's a bad example, because now my husband's built more like the other guy. Fuck, I can't explain it. Long story short, he's not skinny, but he's closer to being skinny than he is to being fat. Whereas the other guy, he's normal weight, but if I had to choose, he's closer to being overweight than he is being underweight. But back on subject. So I kind of already, was a little bit on guard. And so I grabbed the milk, and I purposefully didn't get a basket, because the normal me gets a basket, but I was like, I'm making more work for them, and I'm only grabbing 1 item. But being honest, the real me, I don't care if I only have 1 item. I always get a basket, just out of habit. Why do I want to awkwardly hold something and potentially drop it? And I also had my shopping bag in my hand. I was wearing, my Nike jacket that my husband got me, and I had my wand point card inside of, my pocket too, which is the reason I was wearing the jacket, because it's like 90 plus degrees outside, but I don't like having a fish around inside my back to get my point card. So anyway, it's only 1 item to scan, and I was kind of hesitant to go up for it, because there was this old lady that was walking really slow with a basket, and I couldn't tell, like, is she about to get wrung out by the other guy, because they were both standing behind the counter, or is she just still walking around more? And so I kind of waited for a second, and like the guy with the glasses, I don't know what his name was, so we're gonna call him, should I use Tardo for him? I feel like that's giving Tardo a bad name. Because see, Tardo, in my book, it just stands for a Japanese person. Like Shaniqua's for a black girl. And that's what I use for a black guy. Tyrone, whatever. Like, look, this is not for political correctness. Everybody got names here, right? Like, Sachiko's for a Japanese girl, Tardo, Japanese guy. I'm a Shaniqua. Like, I make it simple, right? Like, I'm referring to the person by a name where you can tell what their race is supposed to be in order to make the point in my video. So if you're sensitive, this shit is not for you. I don't give a fuck. Long story short, We're gonna call him Turtle, just to make it simple. So, Turtle, like, gestures for, that he's ready for me. I give him my basket. I didn't have a basket. I put the milk down on the counter. He does not talk to me. He doesn't even tell me, customer, please, or whatever, like how they normally do. He says nothing. And I'm used to it. Sometimes they don't talk. And so I tried, not to take it personally, but I thought it was a little bit weird. And so I've had this person several times. I know that they remember me because I have to stand out. Because being honest, I normally let me get some water. My voice is getting scratchy. Okay, so anyway, I know that they have to remember me because I don't go to the store every day, but I normally go at least a couple of times a week, but I normally go to my basket on weekdays. I don't normally go on the weekend, and today's Sunday. It is a weekend. And to be honest, I came today because I was like, I want to make sure that I have the milk first thing in the morning so that I don't have to wait until they open, because I wake up really early so I can prepare my husband for work. I cook him breakfast, I make his lunch, and I get everything together for him to go to work in the morning, and I don't want to have to wait till 8 a.m. And plus, when I go at 8 a.m. while the store is empty, there's a lot of people outside, so there's more pressure for me to have myself together. Everyone's looking at me, and you want to look good. I'm representing America, I'm representing black people, and of course, because I have many twists in my hair, which I've never worn braids here in Japan, I know that I'm getting way more attention just from the braids alone. But even prior to having this, I get a lot of attention. So, and then not to mention, some of my neighbors, they talk to me, so I don't want to, be looking crazy. So anyway, he doesn't speak to me. And so it's just one item to scan. He doesn't ask me for my bag. He doesn't ask me if I have a point card, but I show him that, I have, my point card. And so I tell him that, I have a point card. And so he puts it up on the screen for me to, swipe my card. And it didn't help that it took me 3 times for it to finally go through. And so that was the only thing that he did say to me, is that, he told me to swipe it again or whatever, because it didn't register. He doesn't ask me if I want to use any points, which I know that I have points. So I was like, yeah, it's good, because I wasn't going to use it on the milk anyway. I don't even know, can you use it on the milk? I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure you can in Japan. I don't think there's any rules. In the US, there are rules at some stores. For example, I used to work at Walgreens. I think CVS was this way too. I also worked at CVS, but I was a pharmacy tech there. And I was at a CVS inside of a Target, so we didn't really get customers. Unless we were nice, we'd sometimes tell them, hey, you can check out here. But normally, people would come to us and they would still be shopping in the store. They wouldn't be done with their shopping yet. So anyway, back on subject. Where was I, you guys? Oh, so yeah, so after, I swipe my card or whatever, then I let him know that, I want to pay with my IC card. I'm going to use my eCoca to pay. So he puts it up on the screen, and again, he doesn't say anything to me. Completely silent transaction. After he's done, he doesn't even ask me for my receipt. He immediately takes the receipt out and puts it down where the money goes. Now, granted, let me explain this. This is a tricky situation. I know that you weeboos are going to be like, it's normal in Japan. In Japan, you put the money in the blue tray. Shut the fuck up. And this is what I was talking about before. There's a difference. There's a difference. Some people do that with everyone, right? Where they just put the money on the counter, in the tray, whatever, when they're giving you back your change. Some people, they just put your receipt on the counter, whatever, in the tray when they're giving you your change. And I always feel indifferent towards those people because I feel like, maybe the person is being fake nice to me, so I don't realize that they're also prejudiced and they feel like they don't want to touch my dirty black hands, right? Or my dirty foreign hands, because I can't even narrow it down to me being black, right? But then on the other hand, you have people that bluntly don't talk to you, aren't nice at all. And I can't help but to think, you're calling yourself not speaking to me and not touching me because you're racist. And then you have the other end, because I know that some of you foreigners are going to be like, and Japanese alike, oh, well, maybe they were doing that because they didn't know you speak Japanese. I literally was speaking Japanese throughout the transaction. I told him that I had a point card in Japanese. I told him, what else did I say to him? No. I told him that I wanted the receipt because he didn't initially hand it to me. That's what happened. I told him that I wanted the receipt. So you had 2 different scenarios where you could have apologized, where you could have welcomed me, where you could have thanked me, where nothing from just silence. And so, like I said, it was such a quick transaction that I kind of tried to brush it off. It's it was only one item. Maybe he, didn't think to ask me to the back, just, thing of milk. But then I was he doesn't know how far I have to walk. And if you're walking 5 or 10 minutes with a thing of milk in your hands, you look kind of crazy here in Japan. People normally get a bag if they're going further than, across the street. Now, in my case, I was going across the street, but they don't know where the fuck I live. So anyway, back on subject. And I know they don't know where I live because they're always in the store. Nobody sees me walk out and go to my building. So I leave out of the store, you all, And as I'm walking, and mind you, it's like literally a 1 minute walk back to my place. Not to mention like the ride in the elevator probably adds another minute. But I had to think to myself, I'm like, did this person like put the receipt? Because like they have this little tray thing. It's a raised tray. So it's not like flat on the counter. Like the counter is down here and the tray is like up here. So like you put it on that top tray right there. And so, yeah, like he put the receipt there, said nothing to me, didn't thank me, nothing. Silence. I was like, you know what? I thought that I had less money on my train pass because my goal was to not use my husband's credit card. We're already over budget for groceries this month and I didn't want him to get mad. So I was trying to use my train pass because like I said, I also don't normally use milk here. So I was like, you know what? I have more money on my card than I thought I do. I checked my receipt to make sure I had enough. I checked the mailbox. I put, the bills and whatnot that came inside of my... I didn't even, bag my groceries. I forgot to mention that. So when I got the milk, I just grabbed it and I left the store. I didn't even bother bagging it because I was so hurt. But what happened was trying to get out of there and clear my mind. And so when I got inside, I went to the mailbox and checked the mail and grabbed the bills. I put the milk into the bag, right? And I knew what I was about to do was wrong. But I was like, nope. I'm tired of being the nice person. I'm tired of being the bigger person. And mind you, what I'm saying, not nice. It's such a small, insignificant thing. But because of how I was raised, I know it's wrong. And beyond just how I was raised, also because of where I am, I know that I shouldn't do this. But I did it. I've told you all a ton of stories about how I've been the bigger person. I got fed up at this point. I've had enough. And it's funny because I just made a video the other day. I don't remember when it was, a week or two ago before this one, where I was just talking about how I had an experience similar to this. But in that scenario, I didn't react to it the way that I should have. This time I went to 7-Eleven and the guy got mad at me because I was trying to put the money in his hand and he demanded that I put it on the counter because he didn't want to touch my hand. And so he even put my change back on the counter. And it made me have to take my time to grab it with my nails, having trouble picking it up. And it's like you're literally holding up your line and causing a scene because you want to be a racist. And the weirdest part to me is why do prejudiced people, you should be mad at your own for being a loser, especially being a grown-ass man working at a damn convenience store. But let me get back to the story. I was like, you know what? I'm feeling extra petty today. I don't have a career anymore. My job is, to be a housewife. I take care of my husband, take care of my baby, right? So with that said, I was like, you know what? We're not playing nice anymore. I'm going to be, how can I put it, passive-aggressive with you. I go back into the store, grab a milk, and he almost got lucky. When I tried to go in line, I realized that he was not going to be the one serving me. The other guy's register was open. So I went back to the store, pretended to be looking at something. And I came back just as he was wrapping up with another customer, right? Go there. And I wasn't even expecting to see this. It didn't even cross my mind to check for this. I literally see him greet the Japanese guy before me, ask him if he has a point card, ask him if he wants a bag, and then get this, he asks him if he wants a receipt, hands him the receipt, and thanks him and does a slight bow. And I'm like, I'm not delusional. I'm not playing the race card for you white people that want to tell me, it's all in your mind, they're not racist, go back to America, they do that with everyone. No. I wasn't even expecting to see that part of it. I thought I was going to go in there and he was going to do the same. I wasn't even trying to see what he was like with everyone else. I just so happened to catch him at the end of the transaction and saw this. Literally, from the moment that I'm walking down this aisle, I see the guy come up to the register. The guy also just has 2 items. He rings up the items, asks me if he wants a bag, and by the time that, I get right there to the end of the aisle where I'm ready, to check out, I literally stood there for 5 seconds before it was my turn. And he didn't call me to the register. I just realized, okay, the register's open. There is another register, but he's, still working on that guy giving him his change. So I walk up there, he scans the milk, we go through it again, and this time he remembers that I have a point card. And I don't know what's wrong with me, y'all, but I cannot get this card to scan for the life of me. It was so embarrassing. So anyway, I finally, swipe the card, get it to go through. And then I use, he forgets that I paid with a, IC card. So I had to tell him, I had an IC card again. Silent transaction. He says nothing to me. No greeting. No asking for a bag. Nothing. After I'm done scanning it, I forgot to mention this. I went into the store with my old receipt in my hand. He gets ready to he takes the receipt quickly and just puts it down on the little tray thing, right? I literally pick up the receipt. I look at how much it says I have left on my train pass. I throw that receipt back on the counter, and then I grab the other old receipt that I had out of my other hand, and I throw it on the counter, and I walk off. And I know that he was thinking, like, this black bitch, these crazy foreigners are so rude. And he's probably gonna go ahead and tell his little coworker, oh, buddy got a thing coming for him. I've never done this before in Japan, but like I said, we're going full camera mode. I'm gonna go back there tomorrow morning, and I'm going to tell the store manager about my experience, and I'm going to describe the guy specifically. And on top of that, I'm going to have my husband help me. We're going to contact corporate. I don't care if they don't do anything about it. I want them to feel embarrassed. I want him to get in trouble. I'm tired of this shit. And people always say, oh, it doesn't matter. Don't make a big deal. No, I'm tired. I've seen Japanese people do before. If you go back and watch my video for my 28th birthday, you can actually see a part in my video where a Japanese woman is going off on the staff at a fucking arcade because she spent $50 and she couldn't win a prize. And meanwhile, my husband was in the process of winning me my tails, and she's going off on the staff about how she's been playing these games all this time and she ain't win shit. This is not the only scenario. Taught a Japanese student English before at McDonald's in Osaka. The staff was being rude to him because he didn't hear his number being called, and he got mad. After he was done my lesson, he literally asked for the manager and told them what happened and called out the person who was being rude to him. So I'm sorry, you all. This is the reason why Japan has the problems it does. This is the reason why y'all wages don't go higher. This is the reason why y'all Me Too movement fail. They don't get shit done here because everybody's a fucking coward. Nobody stands up for themselves. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody files reports. And this is the reason why Japan seems a lot safer than it really is. Don't get me wrong. Overall, do I feel safe to a certain degree? Sure. I was just thinking to myself today before I went out, this, evening about how I could never wear my rings in Chicago. Like, not where I'm from. People will rob me and probably rape my ass too. Like, I literally would not be safe. And with that said, I'm grateful for some things here in Japan. Like I said, I love this country. My husband's Japanese. My children are half Japanese. Do not get me wrong. But, at the same time, I also recognize Japan has its faults. It has its issues. My fat ass over here sweating, y'all. I'm sorry, turn on my air. Well, it actually is on, but it turn it up a little bit higher. So anyway, I felt relieved. Not gonna lie, I felt good. It felt good to finally stoop down to their level. And so after I threw the receipts back at him, on my way out the door, I literally turned to look, and he was like standing still at the counter, like he was frozen. So I don't know, like, if he had grabbed them and just stood still or what happened, but I was expecting him to look at me. He didn't even look at me. He was just standing there and looking straight forward. He's probably holding back all that little racist energy inside of his little ass. But that pissed me off so much. And I'm thinking to myself, what have I ever done to you? What have foreigners ever done to you all? They give all these fake, exaggerated stories as though every foreigner here in Japan is these evil monsters wrecking the country. But the reality is, the vast majority of foreigners that they encounter are kiss asses, including the Americans, including them, even though we have the title of being, ugly Americans, rude, whatever. The majority of people here put Japan on so much of a pedestal that even when Japanese people are being rude, like how that asshole is, they would still do a full-on, oh, arigato gozaimasu, konnichiwa. They would still be so nice to you walking into the store because they don't understand these these micro things they do. I can't even explain it, but like I said, the Japanese are very racist, but they're not up in your face like how white Americans are. They're very passive about it. So, for example, if you don't speak Japanese, you wouldn't recognize the stuff. You would think, okay, like, it's just a normal, quiet cashier. He's not friendly, but you wouldn't think he's rude. He didn't do anything to me rude, and he did gesture for me to come to his register, right? But now, you can't call bullshit and say, oh, well, the tray is there to put your money there. No, it's not. Actually, the purpose in that tray is not for them to put your change back onto, but for you to put your money there when paying. Now, granted, some people do use it both ways, and that's okay. Granted, if the person's being kind to you. But when you're being silent to me the whole transaction, and especially when I think about all of the other staff members, all of the people that work there on weekdays, including the manager, they never put my change back inside of that damn thing. They always hand it to me directly. They've even given me my change when my hands looked its worse. I've come in there with ashy hands before because I always wash my hands before I leave and when I come back home. And so unless I use lotion, which I normally try to remember to do that, my hands might look dirty to you because, they're a little silvery. But this time, my hands are moisturized. Going to the store, my nails look nice. I'm wearing expensive jewelry. And so, like I said, I'm a regular customer inside the store. And I know that he remembers me, because for him to be prejudiced, I'm sure he knows me as his least favorite customer. I rarely go in on the weekend, though. When I do, it's normally in the morning, not in the evening. So I guess that he must work evening shift. I assume. I'm unsure. But now he's really going to remember me if he didn't remember me before. But I'm going to say this. Look, my ass petty enough. I'm going to carry receipts and probably trash inside my pockets from now on. Every time someone pulls up the shit of me, you're going to get a handful of garbage on the counter. I don't give a shit. Is it the wrong way to handle it? Yes. But I'm tired of this shit. And you might say, oh, well, don't go there. I live here. Where am I supposed to go? I'm not about to go an extra 20, 30 minutes to go to another store because you can't stop being a racist. And this is legal here. Like, nothing. Let me put it this way. Japan can do shit that you can't do in America anymore, which is one of the big downsides why I would never want to have Japanese citizenship. I love my U.S. citizenship. People brag about the passport here, but the reality is, what good is a passport that lets you have visa-free entry into countries that you never plan to go to anyway? Like, ask the average Japanese person, have they ever used their passport power to do anything that we can't do as an American? No. The only thing you could argue is working holiday, but most people don't do that either. Not to mention, I'm just going to keep it real with you, the normal people that do work in holiday are normally bums and losers that don't have a bachelor's degree. And it's only good for 1 year. So I'm sorry, just go to school and then you can go to other countries as much as you want to and not be limited to 1 year and have to do it before you turn 30. So back on subject. I should also add, I've been in Japan since I was 20 years old, alright? Like, I'm damn near 30 years old now. I've been here for a minute. I've experienced a lot of things, and I've learned there is a difference, and it's hard to tell because, like I said, there are some stores, some places, and some people who just have a regular practice of putting the stuff back in the tray. And some people, in fact, I'd argue most people actually prefer if you hand them the money directly. And even if you put the money in the tray, it's normally seen as good manners for the employee to put the money back into your hands anyway. And also, they recognize it normally takes more time to take it off of the counter. Now, granted, thank God, I wasn't getting change back from him. I was paying on my IC card because shit, if I was getting change back from him, he probably would have put that inside there too. And so, again, I go to the store all the time. None of the other staff, including the manager, puts my change inside of there. None of the staff puts my receipt inside of there. And all of the staff ask me if I want a receipt, ask me if I want a bag. And I won't say always ask if I have a card, because I get it. Sometimes they assume that because I am a foreigner, but I look like a tourist, that maybe I don't have a point card. I understand that because I used to work in Chicago, downtown. I used to work at the Old Navy on State Street. If you live in Chicago, you know what I'm talking about. And so when I'd be there, it would be confusing to know which customers to ask if they want to get an Old Navy card, if they have an Old Navy card, because you would oftentimes have customers that, you think are, American, but they're a foreigner, like they're from Canada, or they're from China, or whatever, and they don't understand what the fuck you're saying. So I get that, but, just get into the habit of just asking most customers, and while it sounds racist, yeah, you do get to the point where you racially profile. You assume if you have an Asian customer, they're likely not an American, which normally is true. And I get it, Asian Americans will be triggered by that, but it's the truth. Likewise, if I see somebody that, looks very European, well, guess what? I'm normally right if I assume they're European. And so, anyway, long story short, I got to the point where I was like, fuck it, let me just ask everybody anyway, because I was surprised. Sometimes you'd have foreign customers, I don't know what the fuck they were entering inside the screen, but they would apply for the card anyway, and even if the customer doesn't get approved, you still get paid for them trying to fill out the application. They still give you, a couple of dollars or whatever, and it looks good to your manager. Keeps you on the team. But anyway, back on subject. Not gonna give you guys work advice for America. That was a long time ago. Damn, that was 10 years ago, I think. Yeah, I was working 10 years ago. Wow. But anyway, oh my god, sorry guys, my head itches. But anyway, the part that pisses me off the most about this whole thing is that even although he was rude to me, not once, but twice, and he showed me he's making a difference between me and the Japanese customer. When I'm his customer, he not only doesn't talk to me, he not only doesn't ask for a point card, he not only doesn't bow to me, he not only, doesn't thank me, but he puts it on the counter. He doesn't want to touch me and my dirty foreignness, right? My filthy foreign hands. He doesn't want to get corona from me or, whatever disease. And this is why I call bullshit on that Stop Asian Hate movement. Y'all treat foreigners in your respective countries like shit. And then you forget respective countries. Look at how Asians treat blacks in their damn neighborhood. How you in my neighborhood doing my nails and I'm paying your ass, your uneducated ass, and you treating me like shit in my neighborhood? We're the black people. Look, this issue is not just for blacks in Japan. Let me make that clear. But I'm speaking on my own race because I am a black woman. Black people are the only ones, black women and men, that will literally continue to line the pockets of people that don't like them. And not only that don't like them in secrecy, Asians are up front with their racism. They're literally talking shit about you in Chinese, in Mandarin, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I don't give a shit what language you're speaking. Cantonese, Vietnamese. Sorry guys, I live right next to the expressway. Shoot, that sound fit how I feel right now. All type of shit right to your face. And it's like, I would never in 1,000 years imagine opening up a business here and talking shit about Japanese people while I'm serving them. How insulting and rude. Wow. Anyway, and so I said this inside of another video that I made before, but you're not gonna say that one on time. How I've actually gone out of my way to be nice to people like that because I want to show them how stupid they look for being racist towards me, right? So for example, I told you guys, I'm not really a nail person. These are my natural nails. I'm good at growing out my own nails long. I take good care of, my nails. So I also have good genes. I have an elongated nail bed. My nails look pretty. But anyway, back on subject. So yeah. And they're not even polished right now. Get that. Look at how nice and shiny and pretty they are. No nail polish on them. This is my natural nail. My thumbnail is growing back in because I did have to cut these down because I chipped it or whatever a few weeks ago. But anyway, back on subject. I felt so wrong for doing that, but I had to. And like I said, it just blows my mind how they're rude to you for no reason. I didn't do shit to them. There's no foreigners that really live here. I think there's like maybe 2 black people that I've seen and 1 white guy that I've seen since I've been here that I know live here because I regularly see them. But they're not even in this area. Like they're further out. I've seen them on their bike and I saw this black girl go to my convenience store. But that's pretty much it. And so again, like one part of me is like, I don't even want to go to these stores anymore. But then it's like, it's just this one guy. The other guy, he's not particularly friendly. I keep thinking I'm hearing my phone. It's just traffic outside. He's not particularly friendly, but he's not rude like the other guy either. He does, at least talk. Whereas that other guy, he's always cold. And again, when I go on the weekdays, recently, all the staff has been very nice. When I get, the 2 women that are always there in the morning, and there's this male manager, he was really nice to me. I actually went there the other day. I think I made a video about that when I did a video on something else. And I was talking about how he forgot something that was mine. He forgot to put something inside the bag. And, he chased me down and, said, excuse me, he apologized. That was a good experience. So I hate to, not go to the store at all. Because, again, it's convenient. And most of the staff is very nice to me. They know me now. They recognize me as a regular customer now. And so, yeah, it hurts. And, again, it shouldn't be where I have to stop going to places. Why don't you just act right? Why is this is a problem I have in the U.S. too. Why is the solution always for us to move, us to leave, us to take our money elsewhere? No, how about y'all stop being racist? How about y'all Asians running these nail salons, these Chinese see-through kitchens? Why don't y'all just treat people with respect? You running a beauty supply store? I'm literally lining your pockets, but you're treating me like I'm a thief. Ma'am, get some security cameras. I can assure you that while yes, I get it, some black people have stolen from your store, the vast majority of people walk in here and don't take shit from you. And this is before all this recent shit in New York. Look, I'm from Chicago. Our police wouldn't allow that shit. They'd gun your ass down. But back on subject. Look, the cops in Chicago are like the cops in GTA. Full force. But back on subject. But, what was I about to say? So yes, I felt bad. And I stopped. I was feeling bad, y'all. I was feeling bad. I stopped and I turned to check to see if he was looking at me. And I walked out, James Bond style. I had a smile on my face and my mind. I was so happy going back into my apartment building. And like I said, before I went back in there again, it took me a second to think about it. I didn't immediately go back into the store and be like, you know what, let me get a piece of my mind. I literally walked all the way back to my building, went to the mailbox, checked the mail, and I thought to myself while I'm unlocking the box, stopped. There's a couch on the first floor. I stopped, pondered there for a second. I was like, I gotta think of something to do. How can I get back and be petty? I was like, you know what? I'm gonna need a second thing of milk because we got 6 bags of cereal. I'm gonna probably blow through the cereal because I've really been craving, Frosted Flakes recently. And I'm probably gonna make some pancakes too. We can get that second thing of milk. And I'm gonna be petty, but in an appropriate way. In fact, the next time he does that, I will let him ring me up and not buy the shit. I will literally pull off what they're doing in Chipotle right now in the U.S. Where if they give you a small portion, you let them ring you up for the shit and then you don't pay for it. I'm gonna pull off that shit on you. Don't play that bullshit with me. Am I being rude? Am I being petty? Am I being crazy? Sure. But why is there no anger towards them? This is the problem that I have. I know y'all weebies are gonna attack me and be like, oh, like, you're being petty. Don't do that. Just don't go there. No, ask yourself this. Why are we accepting them being racist towards us? Why are we accepting them being prejudiced towards us? Why are we making up excuses for them? I know it's gonna be some Japanese bitch in my comment section. It's gonna be some, tied on Shanika. I'm gonna say Shanika. Tied on Sachiko gonna be trying to defend it and be like, oh, it's not cheap. Maybe they were Korean. My husband's Japanese. I know how to tell y'all apart. And I knew how to do this before I got married. FYI. I can tell the difference between Asians. Trust me. He's Japanese. I know he is. And also, let's get this out of the way too. I don't care if he was Korean. I don't care if he was Filipino. Which they're known for being rude too, I should also add. But back on subject. This is my issue though. He clearly was making a difference between how I was being treated versus how we treated the Japanese customer. Because at first, I had no customer to compare to. And in the past, I didn't pay attention. I knew he was rude, but I didn't think to look at what he's doing with another customer. I wasn't even trying to catch him with another customer. My goal was to time it perfectly so that I will be coming up to the counter as soon as he's done, so that this way the guy on the other side wouldn't be like, oh, customer, please, I'm open. I wanted to make sure I'm going to him, because it would look weird if I avoid going to him and I insist on going to the other guy. I wanted it to be where it would only make sense for me to go to him, and I had it at the perfect time where I saw from the moment that he went up there to the moment that he left, and the guy literally did everything for him that he didn't do with me. Asked if he had a point card, bowed, thanked him, greeted him, everything. Asked if he wanted the receipt, asked if he wanted the bag. I didn't get asked shit. I didn't get thanked. I got no bow. I got asked nothing. And normally I don't count my own bag. Normally I do ask for one of their bags, because to me it's this is 3 cents, and plus we use these for trash bags. So I've been reusing bags since before this whole green whatever save the world type crap was going on. I'm black. We always reuse crap. I save every little bag that I get. Ziploc bags, fancy containers and shit. I save it all. So long story short, I felt horrible for this. I know that, what I did was not right. Which, hey, look, I guess this makes me a much better person than the Japanese, because they don't even feel sorry about it. They do this, and they feel good about themselves. I do feel bad. I feel good to finally get revenge, but I feel bad because as a Christian, I know what I did was wrong. I know it wasn't Christ-like. I know that God would want me to be the bigger person and to still treat him with kindness and still be nice, because now, as a Christian, I don't seem very Christ-like by doing that. That was unnecessarily petty. And the extra petty part was, it wasn't good enough for me to just leave the receipt there. I wanted him to realize that I see what he's doing, which is why I threw the other receipt at him. I wanted him to realize. And it was just a receipt. I could have given him an empty milk carton or left my trash on the counter or something like that. Real trash. But I didn't. Mainly because I don't carry trash in my backpack. But look, I was angry enough where I thought about it for a second. I was like, you know what? I should take my empty milk carton out of the trash and leave it on the counter there. But the part that gets me the most about all of this is, like I said, he's going to walk away from this and probably tell his coworker, did you see that black bitch? Like, yeah, her fat ass, she left her seat there and it did this one at me. And his friends probably going to believe him too and agree with him. Because this is the problem that I have with Japanese men in particular. But Japanese women do this too. So really I say Japanese people. They don't tell the whole story. They're fucking liars. They will treat you like shit and then play dumb with you when you treat them back like trash and pretend like you're the aggressor. They use their race to their advantage. They will literally bullshit you like that. You see it all the time when it comes to divorces here. Should I even experienced it with breakups? If you go back and watch, think I did a live stream on it, or at least I talked about it on Patreon, with Jimbe, I literally broke up with him. And I realized stupidly, because I was so angry in the moment, I have nowhere to get my stuff sent to. My stuff is at his place. And Yamato said they couldn't come until that following morning. So I was trying to ask him if I could leave his stuff back inside the house. I literally rang his door, I think, once or twice. I literally just left out like 5 minutes ago. And even after I walked out, he was so desperate for me to come back. He asked me, are you coming back? Are you really leaving? And then he tried to open the door again, handed me. He had bought a bunch of my favorite teas, namacha. So he tried to hand one, and I was like, no, I'm fine. He called the police on me and told them that I was stalking him. And the police believed him. What? Oh my fucking god. And then of course I had a racist officer that showed up too. It was a whole group of them, so it wasn't just one officer, but the main guy that was leading the conversation, he was pissed off. And I was stupid. I was trying to be the good foreigner back then. He had me sign a piece of paper basically agreeing that I wouldn't come back. And he wanted me to write, so I was like, look, do I have to write that? And then he was like, no. And he got mad about that. And so I was like, you know what? I shouldn't have given him the signature either. But I was like, you know what? Whatever. So he told me if I come back there that I get arrested. I'm like, I don't want his goofy ass. Sure, he makes good money, but I can get, and thank God I did wait, because my man a doctor now, fuck a CPA. But anyway, back on subject. I was thinking like, look, you don't look good, and you gossip like a fucking bitch. I know that I can get a man that only looks better than you, but is at least your height, if not taller. My husband's actually the same height as him. But you know what I'm trying to say. I have other options. You're not the only one. And I felt stupid in the moment because this dude was an idiot. He gave me $2,000 to pay the move-in fees for a luxury apartment. And he's not the only one. Look, when you look good in Japan, you can get men to do anything for you. But anyway, back on subject. Should I argue this in the U.S. too? But I don't have any dating experience in the U.S. because I only had one boyfriend that was a long-term boyfriend from high school, and I dated him from when I was 16 until I was grown and came to Japan. And he's still subscribed to my YouTube channel, so shout out to my ex. So that's how you know I'm a good girlfriend. See, if I was bad, my ex wouldn't still be here. He actually tried to get me back too, several times. He had to go through counseling after breaking up. I'm not even lying to you all. I'm not gonna lie, this sounds so bad narcissistic. I'm not gonna lie, it made me feel good. I was like, wow, I changed your life that much. He had to go to counseling. He even told me that like after we broke up that he found it hard to date other people because like he couldn't find somebody else to like have deep, meaningful conversations. The people just talk about stupid stuff to him, and he liked having like our deep phone conversations and hanging out and talking forever. And yeah, we had a fun relationship. But you know what? To my ex that's probably watching this, I'm married now. You know that. But I will say this. He got me into Minecraft, which I do still love to this day, even though I never play it and I'm still scared of it. But anyway, speaking of which, I have a file that's like messed up because like I was in a cave and like I tried to get away from these spiders, but I didn't know that spiders can climb dirt. And so every time that I restart the game, I have two options. Either I deal with being respawned somewhere without a map, and so I'm lost, I don't know how to get back to my place, or I have to quickly figure out how to like not freak out and break my TV by throwing my controller at the screen because the spider is like crawling up quickly the like sand tower that I made. But alright, let me get back on subject. I'm talking about Minecraft to y'all. That just scared me. I hope I don't have nightmares. I'm gonna have to watch Barney before I go to bed or something. I'm still sweating, you guys. I need some water. But I was so stressed out, you all. I was supposed to be eating my cereal right now. I was not planning to make a video today, which is why, I'm never together. But I'm in particular not together today. So it really like hurt me so much. And so like I said, I know that I did the wrong thing, but I'm just so irritated with this. Why is a solution? I get as a Christian why I'm supposed to be the bigger person, but I hate that from a world perspective you're expected to be the bigger person in every scenario. And I hate the fact that the Japanese don't even realize that you're the one being the bigger person. Like in his little stupid racist ass mind, he probably got confirmation that foreigners are bad, awful, dirty people because I threw my receipt at him and I left the other one on the counter. He will never tell the real story. He will walk away and tell his friends about how rude and bad foreigners are, right? Well, you better get a new job because I'm going to make it a living hell for you. I'm going to purposefully come on Sundays now, just looking for your ass. And I'm gonna come there next Sunday with a big smile on my face because I'm snitching. I'm snitching first thing tomorrow morning. I'm going straight to the manager. They get their shipments in on Sundays and I think Mondays too, possibly. I'm thinking most of the stuff. They get stuff throughout the week every day. But like their biggest shipment of new stuff seems to come on like I think Sunday, Monday-ish or whatever. Because I noticed they have like a bunch of like stuff marked down and a bunch of like new stuff being added to the store, I think. I can't remember. I think that was it. But sorry guys, I feel a little bit gassy. But anyway, he's going to be in for a surprise because that's one thing they don't like. They do not like getting reprimanded. So, and the manager was nice to me, so was the rest of the staff. And I'm going to talk to them in detail. I'm going to go first thing in the morning when they're not busy. And I'm going to give them a piece of my mind and let them know about my experience. So, whew. And I'm going to make sure if the manager is not there first thing in the morning, which he might not be, I will come back and I'll make sure that I talk to like 3 different people. I'm going to let the staff know first. And then I'm going to let the manager know as well. So, because I know that they're going to try to, like, make it where I just deal with the staff member. And the staff is probably going to, like, tell the person directly. No. I want to make sure that multiple people know. So I'm going to 2 different people. 1 staff member plus a manager tomorrow. And we're going to contact corporate, both by email, and we're going to write a letter. So, because I'm going to let my husband know. My husband's not here right now. He won't be back until tomorrow. But it's sad. And then again, this is the thing that I hate. They will swear that foreigners are so rude. They're all so bad, so unruly, right? And it's like, I've had more bad experiences with Japanese people here by far than ones that I've experienced with foreigners or ones that I've seen from other foreigners. The vast, overwhelming majority, I would say for every 1 million foreigners, there's maybe, I don't know, 10 to 50 that break the rules here. The vast majority of people follow all the rules exceedingly and abundantly, go above and beyond what they're expected to do. In fact, when foreigners break rules here, they're normally doing stupid stuff that they don't know any better. For example, not recognizing, like, hey, like, you know, don't eat on the train. You're not gonna die because somebody's eating next to you. You might not like it, but that's okay. And guess what? When Taro does it and Sachiko does it, y'all think it's cute and nobody says anything. If you live in Japan, you have definitely seen more, by far, Japanese people eating and drinking and talking and answering phone calls and blocking the pathway than you will ever see foreigners doing it. Other tourists. I know that it's fun to put on your weeaboo shoes and weeaboo glasses and backpack and pretend like you're one of the Japanese and pretend like you don't see it when the Japanese do it, but be fucking for real with yourself. You know damn well everything that they make a whole list of on Twitter, all of the dumb stuff that man had in his sign when he was walking around out in public in Shibuya with that, and look at how much of a coward he was. He had the sign covering his face, right? He don't want you to see him. He made sure that when you took your picture, you're taking a picture of that sign. How much of a loser do you have to be? A grown-ass old man. Nigga, enjoy your retirement. Do you even have a pension? Who the fuck has time? My father-in-law has a dead wife. His kids are grown out the house and married. He's a grandpa now. He's working still. He went back to work. Nigga, get a fucking job. Who does that? A full-time racist? For free? And then get this, not a single Japanese person asked him to put the sign down. Nobody vandalized his sign. They agree with that shit. They probably think it's funny. Oh good, he's teaching foreigners how to behave. Literally everything on that list, Japanese people do. I'm tired of dealing with the bullshit. I don't understand. Why do we allow this? And then foreigners act dumb when they finally start attacking you that lives here. See, it's cool when they mistreat the foreign tourists, right? But then when it comes to affecting you, then you all are like, hey, has anybody noticed that Japanese people are being a lot ruder to us recently? I've seen all of these little stupid posts from white people. I've seen it on Reddit. I've seen it on Facebook. And I feel sorry for these people. But I think to myself, why did it take so long for you to wake up? Why do y'all have this mentality that unless it's happening to you directly, the problems don't exist? Because even with this video, somebody's going to be like, well, I've never had that experience. Actually, I prefer that they put my money on the counter because I don't like touching their hands. Can you all stop? Like I said, this is the best scenario I can give that white people can understand. So let me break it down for you. Think about being at school. I don't know what you guys were in school. Some of you guys may have been popular. Some of you may have been lame. Doesn't fucking matter. You know what I'm talking about. Being at school and having a whole fucking lunch table to yourself seems ideal as an adult, doesn't it? Lots of space. If I go into a food court at Odaiba, I'm happy as hell. If I get a whole table to myself and there's nobody at the tables next to me, right? Nobody in the chair next to me. I got the whole area to myself. Sounds great, right? But there's a big difference between an empty table when it should have people and an empty table when it shouldn't have people. There's a big difference between empty space being there because you're an outcast, you're a lame, and you're a loser, and there being empty space because you wanted to sit away from the group. Knowing that people are avoiding you because you're an outcast, you're a loser, you're a lame, you're not popular, it's psychologically damaging to you. Okay, we understand that at school, right? All of you, if you watch a video of a loner sitting by themselves with, they don't have a school lunch, all of you all be like, oh, so sad, I can relate. But for some stupid reason, we come to Japan and people actively avoid you, treat you like you have fucking, I don't know, some sort of contagious in the air STD or something like that. And all of a sudden, well, actually, I like having my extra space. Well, actually, I don't mind. Well, actually, I never experienced that. And it's like, nobody's asking if you experienced it. Can you acknowledge that what they're doing is wrong? Why is that so hard for people to do? And also, I will challenge you. I think a lot of people don't realize people are avoiding them because you're not looking for it. When I first came here, I didn't notice it. And look, I'm black. I didn't notice shit. When I first came here, it took me maybe, 5-6 months before I finally noticed people are actively avoiding being near me. Now, granted, some places are so busy that people have no choice but to stand close to me, but to sit next to me. But I noticed that in most circumstances, if people have a choice, they will avoid me. Now, mind you, some train lines and buses are better than others. For example, ones where people are used to dealing with foreigners, where there's tons of foreigners in the area. For example, the Uedo line, the Yamanote line, things like that. Fine, you will have more people willing to sit next to you, won't really give a shit. But even then, generally speaking, the average Japanese person, they will try to sit next to somebody else, or they will stand, they'll do what they have to do to avoid you. And so, sure, on one hand, I don't want to be squished. But on the other hand, when you realize people are avoiding you because they see you as lesser than and dirty, it hurts you psychologically. And it's embarrassing. A lot of you guys talk about depression and anxiety. Okay, well, do you not see how that makes somebody feel depressed and embarrassed? Because it's not just that person that's sitting next to you. Everyone around in the vicinity realizes that everyone's avoiding that one seat. And everyone around you realizes that when you sit next to that person, everybody else around you gets up. And it also psychologically sends the message to everybody else, this person stinks, or they're too fat, or whatever the case is, even if neither of those things are true. It gives the illusion that you are. Because think about it. If you are going to sit somewhere, or you're looking for a seat, and you see that somebody immediately gets up after somebody sits down, what would you do? Even if you wanted that seat, your brain is going to say, there's a reason why that person got up. Did that person pee on the seat? Did the person stink? Did they do something creepy and perverted? It's going to get people's attention. So anyway, back on subject. I hate the mindset is always for us to change, but sure, I do agree. For your own mental well-being and sanity, yes, shop somewhere else. Sit somewhere else, don't sit, do whatever, I understand. But at the same time, no, I think it's time that we do call out issues here, address them, and get shit done about them too. I think that we brush it under the rug so much that then it gets to the point where now, the general Japanese public, they think they're not racist. I'm gonna be honest, my husband thought that, until he got married to me. Might have been a little bit before we got married, but he started seeing stuff when I explained to him. Because beforehand, he had the same image of Japan. And mind you, he's also from the countryside, so his upbringing was different. People from Tokyo. But it just irritates me so much because, if everybody's constantly praising Japan, oh, they're so polite, they're so nice, they're so whatever, they start to think that. And look, they're getting free praise, free promotion about something that they're not. I'm sorry, but they're not. Is the average person doing what that guy did? No. But there's way more than just a handful of Japanese people that feel, think, and behave the way that man does. I can't read his mind. I don't know why he's doing what he's doing. But I'm not so much of a dumbass that I'm blind to the fact that I see he clearly made a difference between me and another customer. Now, granted, this is great for my little social experiment. Because, see, by white people standards, I would normally be brushed off. He pulled his up to everybody. Well, now I have proof. I saw the same day with my own two eyes. It has nothing to do with him having a bad day at work. It has nothing to do with him being in a bad mood or having a bad customer. No. Because see, at first I wanted to write it off too. I was like, you know what? Let me calm down. Maybe he's having a bad day at work. Because I think about when I worked at Starbucks, I had some moments where, I had a customer go off on you. You just be quiet for the rest of it. I had moments I literally was crying while helping to ring out a customer at Walgreens. So it's like, you know what? Maybe he's just having a bad day. Let me just be nice to him. But something told me, no. He's always having a bad day. Let me go back in there and give him peace and, taste of his own medicine. And that was a nice way of doing it. All I did was, throw my receipt there. His dumb little dodo brain ass, he might not even realize what I called myself doing. So, but he gonna learn. He gonna learn. So, that just made me so angry. And again, I hate the fact that they brush this type of stuff off. They don't talk about this. But instead, they will super focus and highlight one foreigner out of the thousands that went to a shrine that breaks the rules and does something bad. One foreigner out of the thousands of people in that same area that littered. And they'll ignore all of the other Japanese people that threw their trash there. They'll ignore the Japanese people that stacked up the trash on an already full trash can. They get ignored, right? But the one foreigner that puts their trash there and it falls off the top. Oh, foreigners are so dirty. Look at these trash cans. They're all full because of foreigners. Right, so there's no Japanese people here, right? Of course. Not to mention, they claim they can tell themselves apart, but they can't tell that my husband is one of them. They can't tell that my in-laws are either. Even when I go out with just my sister-in-law, they assume that because she's with me, she's Chinese or Korean, she's something else, right? So y'all can literally, now mind you, my in-laws are good people. Like, they don't trash stuff. But if they did, this would get passed off as, oh, dirty Chinese person. When really, it's dirty Japanese person. And a lot of you Americans in particular, I hate when I see you all joining in this propaganda. Because as an American, you should know better. And I find it funny that Americans get real quiet when one of their own does something wrong. For example, one of them stupid ass niggas on a military base raping somebody, doing something stupid like that. Then all of a sudden, y'all don't like stereotypes. But when it comes to Chinese people, y'all love clowning and dunking on them. Now, don't get me wrong. I've seen them do bad stuff. I've had my bad experiences. But it's like, okay, let's single out the experience. Let's stop pretending and encouraging and endorsing prejudice, racist rhetoric, propaganda, pushing that type of shit. Yes, I see them act bad and do dumb stuff, but I can also acknowledge a lot of Chinese people here do follow the rules, if not most. In fact, that goes for any race of people, any group here in Japan. The majority of people here follow the rules, are respectful, and when they break rules, it's innocent things they didn't know better. Is it annoying at times? Sure. But are they horrible people? No. For example, do I like the fact that you decided to eat your corn dog on the train? No, I do not. Am I gonna die because I have to smell a corn dog for 2.5 seconds? No, I am not. Look, I'd much rather have somebody eating a corn dog and smelling like fried chicken on the train than to have Tato and Sachiko passed out drunk and will vomit sliding down the train every time it stops. I'm sorry, I'd much rather have a couple of breadcrumbs from corn dog breading that falls onto the seat than to have to deal with puke on the seats from some dirty ass alcoholic bad breath salary man any day. So get the fuck out of here with that shit. Anyway, the thing that also blows my mind is, like, when you mistreat foreigners like this, you do realize, since you don't know whether I live here or not, you're literally, like, setting it up for... Let me move this out of the way. You're setting it up for them to go back to their home country and have bad stories to tell about your people. If you love your country so much, don't you want to impress or make it look good? Like, for example, when I worked in Chicago, I love tourists. That's why I chose to be a tour guide. When I worked at the Willis Tower, aka Sears Tower, when I worked at Navy Pier, I always had people asking me dumb questions. Where's the water tower? Where's this? What time do you guys close? What food do you recommend? Which pizza should I eat? You know, answer those little stupid, silly type of questions. I didn't have an attitude. I didn't act rude. Where's the restroom? Including when I worked at Navy Pier, because see, my job was sales. And so it's like, okay, I get it, you know, understandably, I'm offering tours, right? But it's like, you're wasting my time. I'm answering a question to you about bathrooms when I could be selling somebody on a tour, right? And so I have every right to be rude and disrespectful, right? But even if I couldn't answer their question, I would always be kind to them because I recognize, okay, this couple, they told me they're from Canada. This person, they told me, you know, they're from Italy, whatever. I want to make my country look good. I want to make sure you have a good experience. And also, I want to make sure that you don't have shit to say bad about me. So one, you don't tell my manager. And two, maybe, just maybe, you might come back to me, which actually did happen one time, and realize, you know what, that girl was really nice. Maybe I do want to check out their tour. She helped me. Even if that person never does it, I love my country. I'm a proud American. I want my country to look good. Why would you not? Okay, well, the Japanese people are very proud of their country. A lot more. Think of your most patriotic, which my husband described me as patriotic to make me laugh. But anyway, back on subject. Think of the most patriotic American you know. That is the average Japanese person here. They're not open with their patriotism, but in their minds, they see themselves as being superior than everyone else, especially other Westerners. But they feel that way about, you know, other Asians too, specifically the Chinese, the Filipinos, the Vietnamese, etc., the Koreans. They hate those three. If you're a Filipino, a Vietnamese person, Korean, Chinese, whatever, you are their least favorite people in the world. And generally speaking, they love Americans. In fact, they probably like them more than any other Western country. But, when you come across people here that are prejudiced, they do not discriminate. They hate everyone. And so, it just irritated me so much. It's like, I've done nothing to you. And also, for the ones that are mad about their job, for example, I'm not going to lie, I've had foreigners that I work in the convenience store that have been rude to me. And it's like, you know, look, I get it. Working retail sucks. You get rude customers. I can only imagine the experiences that you have working at 7-Eleven. But that's not my fucking problem. And I'm sorry. If you're being treated bad by Sachiko and Tato, don't take it out on Shaniqua and Becky. We ain't got shit to do with them. I'm an American, bitch. You know if I'm here on vacation or if I live here. Why are you being mean to me? All I'm doing is getting checked out. I'm not asking you for cigarettes. I normally don't have asked you to warm my bentos these days. And so, because I don't normally get those shits. And y'all still rude. Your job is literally It's a 2x2 store. When I worked at Walgreens, it was like 4 times the size of these fucking mini ass 7-Elevens. All you have to do is put a fucking sandwich on a shelf and scan a damn item. And nowadays, you don't even have to like count change and shit. You got a fucking computer that gives back the change. Your job is literally to scan the items, and if they ask for a bag, you bag the items. And if they want cigarettes, you grab the cigarettes. And if they want their food warmed up, you warm that up. And depending on where you work, you ain't even gotta warm up the food. If you work at a Natural Lawson's, some of them have it where the microwaves are out for the customers to use on their own. Which that was a big shock for me because I didn't know how to use a microwave when I first went to one. I couldn't read Japanese back then, so I was lost. But anyway, back on subject. I don't care why you're bad. I didn't choose that life. You chose it. You're the broke bitch that didn't go to school. You are the one that was born to third world, poor ass parents. You are the one that doesn't have the ability to get a job to work as an English teacher, an engineer, finance job, whatever. Don't take out your anger at me. You decided to work that part-time job. And also, I'm not being a dick to you. I'm an easy ass customer. The most complicated thing I'm going to ask you to do is either I have you, scan a QR code for me to pay a bill, or I fucking ask for you to warm up my bento or some shit. That's the most complicated task I have you. And even when y'all fuck up my shit, like for example, I've gone to the convenience store and they warmed up 2 bentos for me and they forgot to give me one of them, and I had to walk all the way back to the store because my broke ass didn't have a microwave back then. It pissed me off because I paid for it, got it warmed up, and had to have them warm it up again. And of course they were rude staff and they got mad at me and they thought that it was so funny. It's like, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. If we did that to them, they'd tweet about it. It would go viral. It would be on the news. And it uses their story to tell about how rude and bad Americans are. But see, when they treat us bad, we have to recognize and think about all the scenarios that made them be mad and be rude. For example, okay, I was living in the countryside of Kobe back then. And on top of that, it was an alternative, young Japanese friend type, I don't know, couple, whatever the fuck they were. It was a Japanese guy and a Japanese girl working at that convenience store. And they had like an alternative lifestyle. Like I don't know if they had tattoos, but I remember they had piercings and like dyed crazy hair and whatnot. And I was like, yep, alright, this is what I was saying. You could literally look at people and judge book by its cover here. Like when you see people like that, you know that they're gonna be rude. You know that they don't have a degree. You know that, at best they're a college student. But normally when you see people like that, they're not college students, they're dropouts. And they're gonna be future losers. You're looking at a future hostess and a future Yakuza member right in front of you. So anyway, back on subject. Look, I hate stereotypes, but it's like y'all prove it every time. Like you act like assholes. And then conveniently, the people that are well groomed and look nice, they normally are nice. Now granted, this guy Tato from today, he didn't look raggedy or whatever, but I can't explain. Like, you know what I'm talking about. If you're black, you know what I'm talking about. You can normally look at someone and you can see that they're racist. Now sometimes you're wrong, but a lot of the time you're fucking right. I'm stressed out, y'all. I'm irritated. I'm gonna be over it. By the time y'all see this video, this would have happened weeks, if not a month or 2 ago. I don't know, but it's sad. And I would love to tell you this is a one-time thing. It's only happened one time. No, this is a regular thing. I just finally nipped it in the bud today. And like I said, I don't normally get this guy, so it's not a regular thing as in I experience this every day, but I've had this encounter countless times. It's not the first time it's ever happened. So I'm probably the first person to ever do that too. And again, the craziest thing is they will mistreat you. And when you mistreat them back, they tell the story as though you are the only one that did something. They don't tell the part that they did. For example, with Jimbe, he probably told his friends, oh, she's a gold digger. She used me. It's like, no. I gave you back your $2,000. I didn't keep it. And I left your ass. When I realized that you were gossiping about me on the phone to your friend, I got my black ass up out of your bed. And I realized I don't want to stay living with this nigga. Let me move on. I'm literally in the process of talking to other people anyway. I'm dating other people. Let me get my ass out of here. I was dating him. We were not married. He wanted to get married. But I was like, you know what? I'm glad that I still have the options. Because I was getting ready to drop him. I almost dropped him. I forgot what his name was. Jimbe. I almost dropped him. But I was like, nope. Let me keep him there just in case. And sure enough, I was right. He was shocked. Told the police I was stalking his ugly ass. Nigga, please. In fact, if anything, he should be glad I didn't play his ass like how another girl would have done. A Japanese girl would have definitely taken full advantage. Don't trust my word? Do a little bit of research. You can read stories from foreign men about being cheated by Japanese women that pretended that they wanted to get married to them, took the ring, took an apartment, and then broke off the engagement. These are the so kind, so polite, so submissive Japanese women y'all be talking about. But anyway, back on subject. It goes for the Japanese men too. Look, I'm straight, and I have my experience with their men too. So, ooh, it just irritates so much. And again, let me make it very clear. All of them are not like this, but a lot of them are. And that's the part that really hurts. Because, like, I love this country. I was happy to be here. I follow the rules. I don't litter. I'm respectful. And I did the stuff before I came here. They oftentimes think that when people are good and follow the rules, we're doing it because, oh, you've become so Japanese. Bitch, I've been doing this since before I came here. Same thing goes with hairstyles. Nobody's ever commented on this, but I've seen black people and other foreigners say this to me. And it's like, y'all do realize that Asians did not invent bangs. And also, if you knew me, which some people that are on my YouTube channel and Instagram too know me in real life from before I came to Japan, you would know I've been wearing bangs since I was like fucking 10 years old. That has nothing to do with my interest in Japan. I didn't even know where Japan was, didn't give a shit about it. And actually, even when I was in high school, I was planning to go to school in Beijing. I was going to go to China, not Japan. No interest in Japan whatsoever, which FYI, they're really the originators, if you want to call it that, of making bangs popular. But bangs originate in Egypt, so that's actually African hairstyle, not their own. Sorry. And I just thought, it's like, if you were born in the 90s or 80s, look at your pictures. Look at your parents' pictures. Either you had bangs or your parents did. Not even get into that shit, so just gotta make it clear, I like Japan. I love this country. But I don't like getting mistreated, and I hate the fact that it's like, I literally am probably more respectful towards this country than you are. And also, both myself and my husband paid and contribute more in taxes than your broke ass probably ever has. Why are you angry at me, being rude to me? I'm just trying to buy my milk. I'm not being mean to you. I'm not littering and dirtying up your store. I ain't even grabbing milk from the back because I wanted to. And this is how you treat me? You would think that I had a basket with like 7,000 items or some shit and I'm holding up a fucking line or something. There's nobody waiting in line behind me or nothing. What is up with that? They be taking out their anger on you, and it's like, don't get mad at me because your mommy and daddy don't have money and you gotta work retail. Don't get mad at me because Sachiko and Taro went off on you earlier today. I get it. That sucks, and I understand, wanting to be in a bad mood, but why are you specifically taking out your anger on me? If you're gonna be rude to me, be rude to everyone, and then fine, I won't get mad. But don't single my ass out. And it's not even like he just had a rude customer before me and then he served me. No. He clearly made a difference because I went in the store literally like 5 minutes earlier, probably less than that, was rude. Came back in later, all happy, smiles, bowing, thanking. Do you have a point card? Do you want a bag? Me? Brick face. Angry. Easter Island face. It just pissed me off so much. And then again, I hate even uploading this video because it's going to fall on deaf ears. I know that my subscribers understand, but other people are going to be in my comments like, oh, you shouldn't have come there. You must have done something wrong. X, Y, and Z. You shouldn't have thrown the receipt. I don't give a shit. And yes, I am going to be petty and I'm going to tell the manager. And I don't care. It's up to them to decide what they're going to do about it. They're not going to fire him because I know how Japan works. But let me also say this too. I'm not going to tell you this information because I want y'all to know where I live. But let me just say this. The Domino's near me, I was shocked. There's a lot of negative reviews. And guess what? I don't think there's a single negative review from a foreigner. They're all from Japanese people complaining and bitching about small things. Now, if I leave that review, you all will tell me, oh, you're wrong and you just don't understand Japanese culture. For example, my video about the burger restaurant, some white people got mad. I was trying to defend Japan in my comment section. It's like, I'm literally showing you picture and video of how they mistreated both me, a foreigner, and my husband, who is perceived to be a foreigner, but he's Japanese. So you mean to tell me that my husband doesn't understand his own culture? You mean to tell me that not only am I blind, but my spouse is blind too? Get the fuck out of here. Y'all love for Japan needs to be checked out. Y'all got some shit mentally wrong with you. And again, the crazy thing is, Japan doesn't feel like any country is, untouchable. They talk shit about everywhere that they go. Look on Twitter. I told you guys a story before in another video, but you might not see that one before this one, so let me say this right now. I'll quickly summarize it. This Japanese guy wrote a whole thread on his problems with living in Canada, which I would think Canada would be a better life than the U.S., according to what everybody always says, right? Well, nope, wrong. He was bitching about it. He's talking about how bad Canada is and how racist it is. Like, racist? He's talking about the discrimination against Asians and how dangerous it was and how their food is bland and how he misses his MSG salt from, Japan. Just saying all of this shit negative about Canada, right? Not only Did I not see a single Japanese person correct him and say, you're wrong, my experience was better? The Canadians chimed in and were apologizing, saying, I don't know why you want to live in Canada as a Japanese. Your country is so perfect. I wish I could live in... I mean, they were literally saying this to him. And I was like, interesting. Then get this. He would refuse to answer people's questions any further unless they followed him. Which people did. Now imagine if we tried to do something like that. Like, even myself, right? He didn't show you pictures or proof, it's just his word. I can show you pictures, video proof, been living here way longer than he's been living in Canada, and my words get thrown away because I'm not Japanese, I haven't been here long enough, I don't understand, I'm, whatever, but they say anything about our country, and we not only allow them to, we agree with it, we support them. They're saying it on our platform too, FYI, because we literally run social media. So it's interesting. It's like, Now, granted, I don't mind this. I think it's good to hear what other people have to say about our countries. For example, before I came to Japan, I don't remember the name of the channel. I used to follow this guy. Y'all might know who I'm talking about. It was this Japanese guy that was going to college in the U.S. I think he was going to a black school, or he was friends with a black person. And he would literally make videos talking about, like, embarrassing things that he did, like his mistakes and whatnot. It was short, little, simple videos, nothing fancy. And it was interesting. For example, one of his videos that he made, it really made me laugh because I never thought about this. And I didn't get it until I came to Japan. He showed a video where he went to Target and he bought lemon juice thinking that it was actually, lemon flavored juice, and didn't realize this is not made to drink. It's made to, like, season stuff, which after coming to Japan, I felt a little bit confused. Like, well, actually, they also sell lemon juice to add for food. Maybe he just never saw that before. But I get it. Our container is much bigger. So he probably thought that it was actual lemon juice to, like, drink. Well, he didn't realize that it was going to be, like, bitter, like, pure lemon juice. Like, fake pure lemon juice. You know what I mean? Like the little extract, whatever type crap they sell. So anyway, made me laugh. I thought that was good. So he was complaining about how Americans, need to, change their labeling because it's misleading and blah, blah, blah. And so everybody inside the comment section laughed it off, thought that it was funny, thought that it was cute. Not a single person complained. But you best believe, if I were to make a video talking about how convenience store snacks are misleading and, they say it's this, but it's not, everybody would tell my comment section, well, Ren, actually, you're wrong. Well, if you stayed in Japan for 30 years, you would know X, Y, and Z. And actually, put on their kanji, reading glass and shit. Just like, you can't say anything negative about Japan. It's very interesting that anything negative you say about Japan gets questioned. But anything positive that you say gets unchecked. If I tell you all that Japanese people can, like, I don't know, they have x-ray vision, they can see underwater, and they can breathe fire and shit out of their mouths, y'all be like, oh yes, of course, I know that. I read that inside of my Genki textbook. All of you all would tell me that bullshit, right? But if I tell you something that's literally proven factually, because I have video evidence, photo evidence, you all will deny what you can see with your own fucking eyes because it's negative. But if it's positive, even if there's nothing to back it up, it's believed here. For example, I'm gonna hurt some feelings. The whole ikigai type stuff, and I've watched several different videos from people that are helping you, on this YouTube platform, to, people just talking about their love for Japan. It's like, it sounds cute, I get it, but if you live here, they don't do any of that shit. They don't fix stuff with gold and believe in having a true purpose in your life and doing what you love and what you're good at. That is not how they teach people here. You are taught to do what makes money. Entrepreneurship and creativity, that's what gets hammered the fuck down. They do not allow any of that shit. You are taught to fall in line and do what everybody else is doing. And to be honest, I feel like there's a lot more that Japan can get out of their people if they allowed them to be creative, to do their own thing, if they encourage entrepreneurship. The reality is, I feel like the Japanese could overtake Indians. But the difference is, there's more encouragement in my opinion, a place like India, to be an individual, to have your own business, to be a genius than there is in Japan. In Japan, you are taught to dumb yourself down, brown nose, submit, white lie, keep all your feelings to yourself, and then they wonder why everybody's off on themselves. Nobody, makes great inventions like how we have in the U.S. with, Chat GPT and AI and Apple. They'll never have a Japanese version of that. Japan is where dreams come to die. I'll make a video talking about that later, but it's the truth. So anyway, back on subject. Here goes my thing. I don't care if you hate your job. You hate your job, quit it. But the reality is, the people that are giving you a hard time, making your work hard, is more than likely the Japanese, not the foreigners. The worst thing a foreigner would do is ask you for directions, ask you for your opinion, or say the wrong word to you. I read a post the other day about a person talking about how they were embarrassed because they accidentally said konnichiwa instead of arigato when they were leaving a grocery store. Not grocery store, convenience store. And I'm not gonna lie, that did sound funny. But it's like, is that gonna ruin your work shift? No, if anything, that's a laugh you'd have. They will literally ignore all of the people that were nice to them, all the people that asked stupid, nice, sweet, innocent questions. They'll ignore the Tatos and Sachikos that gave them a hard time, the chain smokers coming in and yelling because they gave them the wrong cigarettes, the people that are being assholes because they're taking too long to warm up their bento. They'll ignore all of those bad experiences, and they'll focus on the one foreigner that comes to the grocery store with their suitcase that knocks over a shelf of ramen or something, and they'll tell you that story on social media. It makes the news. All foreigners are bad and evil. God forbid you're a foreigner and you make a mess and you don't clean it up behind yourself. But Tato and Sachiko, they can do that all day. They can curse you out and leave a mess. They can piss inside the trash cans here, which, FYI, I'm not exaggerating. I have seen that happen twice in Osaka. Not including a guy pissing in the bushes on a public busy street in Shibuya in front of traffic. Nobody said shit. God forbid a white guy does it. It's the end of the world. So, I'm irritated. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm tired of being stepped on, and I'm going to start standing up for myself, and I won't say I won't do that again. I'm going to have to pray about it. I know it's wrong to do. I'm a Christian, and I need to ask God to forgive me for it. I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. But, he deserved it. So, and again, I can forgive people that are just truly having a bad day or whatever. It's like, no, that was not his case. It was not his case at all. So, but it just blows my mind. It's like, why do people that work at these convenience stores, grocery stores, whatever, y'all have the nastiest, rudest attitudes? And it's like, you should be grateful that these places exist. Because if they didn't, who would hire your low skill, no degree having ass? Where would you be able to work? You're not married. I guess your parents don't have money, which is why you're working here. You'd be screwed. In fact, I feel like these assholes are a prime reason why everybody needs to work retail. So you can understand what people go through every day. But also understand that even though you go through all of that crap, the majority of customers that you have at any job, no matter how bad it is, are actually nice to you. The vast majority. Even when I worked at Walgreens, and I worked in a racist ass white neighborhood in Chicago, the vast majority of customers that I had were very nice to me. In fact, the only customers that I had that were total assholes was two guys that were smokers. I had this biracial family that was really weird. Like, the mom was, I guess, kind of nice, but the kids, they were assholes. It was this biracial boy and this biracial girl. I don't know if they were twins or what, but I didn't like eating them bitches. But anyway, yeah, no, the father was the father was an asshole too. I forgot they had a white dad, which is really weird. He came in there acting like I was like robbing his kids or whatever, because they dumbasses didn't understand you have to activate the Apple gift card using the code that comes out on the bottom of the receipt. And I didn't even know this because at the time I didn't have an iPhone. I literally had to look at the receipt and see what it said. I'm like, I know that I scanned it. Like, nigga, what you think I'm gonna do with the shit? You think that I don't know, made like a fake receipt to give you all, and I'm gonna take this home and use the code or whatever? His little goofy ass, I don't even think he apologized. He just looked stupid and like grabbed it, left out of the store. Like the whole anger in his face left his body. Ignorant. But anyway, back on subject. You deal with shit. I dealt with shit working there. But you want to know what? I was nice. I spoke to everyone. I greeted everyone. I asked everyone's day was. I asked everyone if they had trouble finding anything. Even the people that regularly didn't speak to me, I did not let that knock me off of what I was normally doing. I had my moments, but even then I never was outright rude to the next customer. Like, I might be quiet and not ask something, but I'd never, put the receipt in the counter and act rude and fling and throw. I didn't do that. The only time I was ever rude to you is if you were rude to me. Sometimes I would match their energy. But the overwhelming majority of people that you have, they're nice to you. They're in and out of the store. And this is no different. My basket is not a full-size grocery store. Even for Japan. People normally just buy a few things or literally fill up my basket. Like, just buy a couple items. That's it. FYI, Japan doesn't really have carts if you're not from Japan, or not from Japan. Like, of course, you guys aren't from Japan. Some of you guys actually are. Shout out to the Japanese people that be watching my videos. Y'all weird. But for the foreigners here, yes, they have, carts, but they're really tiny when they do. And when they do have bigger carts, they're like the kind where you put your basket inside the cart so you can just push it more easily, which normally only old people use those. So back on subject. The one time I don't even grab a basket, because I always get a basket, even when I get one item. Asshole. In fact, I should have got a basket the second time I went in. I didn't even think about that. That's what I should have done. But he gonna be on guard this time, though. In fact, he might not even print the receipt this time, because he's probably gonna assume. In fact, I'll be so petty. I'll ask him to print the receipt if he doesn't print it next time, and I'm gonna still leave it there. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm not shocked that he didn't pick it up and throw it back or whatever, because I lucked out. I didn't go all the way to the store, but like I walked to the door and I turned and looked, and I guess he already grabbed it, or he already like took his double look at me. I don't know what he did, but go ahead and tell your little, your buddy. Go and tell your little sassy friend next to you what I did. But see, he'll never tell his part. He won't say why I did it. He'll just make it sound like I'm this rude asshole. I don't know what the fuck to think about me, what they have to say about me, because I always feel like there's a weird tension and vibe between the two of them. I don't know if they just think it's funny that I'm black or I'm a foreigner, what the case is. I don't really fucking know. And I should add that part in too. Generally speaking, the average person here, they don't care about race so much. They care about foreigner. So either they hate you because you're not Japanese, or they don't fucking care. Like, they don't really care about race. The only nationalities that they truly care about is Chinese and Korean. Some people are specific. For example, I'll be honest with you, my ex, not almost a mother-in-law, would have been mother-in-law, my ex-boyfriend's mother, she was a racist. She did not like Filipinos. And to be honest, I don't remember. I have to ask my husband now, but let's just say that my deceased mother-in-law, I think she was the same. They don't like, most Asians don't like Chinese, Korean, or Vietnamese, or Filipino people. So anything else, they might not like you, but they don't care about your nationality. They just don't like foreigners. So, back on subject. Whew, I'm done, you guys, but that hurt. It's like, I just want to buy milk. I'm a regular customer. I'm always nice. I'm always patient. I let people cut me in line. I'm always putting stuff out. For example, when I grab them off the shelf, I always push the item forward for them. I help them with facing and whatnot. I do stuff the Japanese customers don't even do. They don't do that shit, but I do. And it's like, for me to be the one that you take your anger out on. Why me? What did I do to deserve that? And I know that the other people see it too. And then, of course, if the other excuse you can give is like, oh, well, they don't know if you speak Japanese. You heard me speak it. And I just said, let's say that I don't speak. This is what I was saying inside my other video. You're not going to see that one first. Let me say it here. They complain that we don't speak Japanese, but they don't give us an opportunity to speak it. If you don't talk to us, and when we do talk, you don't respond back to us, how the fuck do we learn it if you never speak to us? How do we learn it if you never respond to us? If you give me dead silence, how do I learn what's supposed to be said in this moment? How do I learn how to respond to what's being said? Do you not realize you are your own problem? Then no bitch just, oh, like foreigners don't learn to speak Japanese. No, I'm not going to learn useless language for a vacation. Now, I live here, so it's time to learn it. But even now, I don't know everything. I'm not a perfect Japanese speaker. I'm not going to bullshit you here. But I shouldn't have to be. All I'm asking you to do is scam my shit. When I worked in Chicago, I dealt with y'all dumbasses, and all I know to say is yes and hi. I literally had a Japanese customer that kept saying hi, 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 as I'm explaining to him the tour. And I was thinking he was saying hi as in English. I thought it was weird. It's like, yes, hi. I literally said that. I was like, why does he keep saying hi to me? And I learned later after coming to Japan, oh, he was saying yes as in he understands what I'm saying, when really he may not have understood what I was saying, or he did understand, but like he just subconsciously, so he's saying, hi, to say yes, I agree, yes, I understand in Japanese. But anyway, even then, I didn't act like an asshole. I didn't avoid talking to people because I think they don't understand. I also understood that since I'm dealing with lots of tourists and foreigners, guess what? I can use hand gestures to explain this offer, that offer. I can show prices. Everybody understands numbers. You don't have to be able to speak it. But if nobody ever speaks to you, how do you know what you could have had? How do you know what your options are? For example, the way that I even got my point card was, I had somebody ask me if I wanted one, and I kept turning it down, and finally I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get a point card. And the first point card that I got, not my best one, that one too was a very similar story, but the first point card that I ever got was that big camera. You want to know why I got it? Because staff asked me, hey, would you like to make a point card? When I lived in, I think it was Kobe, I went to Joshin, or whatever the name of that store was, and guess what? The staff asked me, did I want to, make a point card because I was making a big purchase. And I was like, you know what? Yeah. And I didn't even speak Japanese well back then. I knew a little bit more than I knew when I first came here, but I wasn't completely fluent in Japanese. And you want to know what? It was thanks to the staff not only being nice and asking me for one, but they actually helped me fill it out too. It's your job. You literally signed up to do customer service. If you don't like people, you don't like customer service, then nigga be mad at your parents for fucking when they were broke. That's not my damn problem. I worked retail too, and I don't act like an asshole. I'm a housewife, and look, I could buy your ass, and I don't act like it. I don't show off. I don't treat people like shit. I still do the same crap that I did before I got married. I don't ever have to go to the grocery store. I can order everything online. I can eat Uber Eats for every meal for the rest of my life. And I don't. And I shouldn't have to buy everything online to avoid racist people like you. Instead, the solution should be that you learn how to treat people decently, that you treat people like they're human beings. I'm tired of this shit. And I'm tired of them downplaying our experiences. See, when they treat us badly, they want to remind you, oh, it's just one person. You know, it was just this guy. They're not normal like this. Japanese people are so nice, so polite. I'm sorry for your experience. But see, when we do something bad, they give us, the general public gives us the stereotype of we're all bad. We're all, you know, these dirty people. We're all animals. We're all rude. One American does something wrong, all Americans are bad. In fact, let me also explain this too. The majority of people that you see every day aren't even American. They assume anybody that's white and anybody that's black is from the U.S. Anybody that's Asian, depending on how you look, if you have a Korean haircut, you're Korean, even though you might actually be Japanese. Depending on how you look, you're Chinese, even if you are Japanese, but you just have more Chinese-like features. So it's like, okay. Do you not see the double standard with that? And so, see, we make up excuses for you. Oh, this is a Tokyo person. That's literally the majority of Japanese people. But okay. Not to mention, okay, so are Tokyo people not a part of Japan? If you have a rude American that's from New York, do we get to say, oh, that was a New Yorker? No, that's an American still. Okay, well then shut the fuck up by saying, oh, well, Tata was, you know, he's from Tokyo. He's from this. I don't give a shit where he's from. He's Japanese, bitch. They make up all these. I actually saw a thread of a Japanese guy saying that he lives in Italy and that, y'all can look this up yourself. I'm sorry to put him on blast, but I gotta say it. And he was saying that he sees a lot of Chinese people pretending to be Japanese and breaking rules, but he doesn't say anything. Nah, nigga. First of all, how the fuck do you know that they Chinese or not when y'all can't even tell y'all own people apart here in Japan? Secondly, not just that, oh please, what you're really trying to say is you're in disbelief that your own could do something wrong. And so even although you don't have any proof that they're Chinese, you believe that they are. You assume that they are. Because a Japanese person can never break rules and do anything bad, right? Yeah, bullshit. Now don't get me wrong. Yes, I understand you can stereotypically tell somebody's Chinese before they even speak. Normally, facial features, their stature, their size, their weight, the way that they style their hair, their glasses, their clothing that they're wearing. Yes, I understand those stereotype things. But I'll also say I've come across lots of Japanese people that were dressed and even naturally look Chinese, but they are not Chinese. Just saying. So, anyway. Ooh, it irritates so much. It's like this mindset they have. They can't do anything wrong. And then when you show them doing something wrong, they make up excuses. Oh, they're from Tokyo. Oh, they're young. Oh, they must have been having a bad day. So we don't get to have bad days? You think that every American is having a great day? Not to mention, you don't know why they're supposed to eat in the train. Maybe their reservation got canceled. Maybe their credit card, didn't go through and they're just pissed off and they're tired of following all these rules. And, you don't know what's going on with them. Those older white people that were sitting on the stairs in that bus, yes, it's the worst thing in the world for a white person to sit on the stairs and then sit in the bus seat. How about, if you care so much about them putting their dirty asses on the seat, how about one of y'all grown ass men get up out of the handicapped seats or even one of the regular seats, give up your seat to not only a tourist but an older woman that clearly needs the seat? How about you do that? Nope, that makes too much sense. They'd rather complain and bitch about you doing that. Meanwhile, they think it's so gross for somebody to sit in the dirty floor on the bus, right? Which, FYI, the floors on the bus are clean, but they're saying that they're so dirty, right? Okay. Well, then explain to me why y'all not mad about Taro and Sachiko vomiting on the floors. Vomiting on the fucking benches. And those things are not going to ever get thoroughly cleaned. They're going to clean them off well enough where it removes the physical presence of the vomit there. But that shit is going to be seeped into the seat. They're not going to buy brand new seats for the bus. You will forever be sitting on that shit, literally, on the train and on the bus. I got on the train before in Kobe, and a drunk guy fell over on me and defecated. He shitted his pants. And I only know it because he did it on me, disgustingly. His whole body weight was on me. I did not realize how hard it is to lift a body that's limp. He passed out on me and I was trying to get off the train. I could literally feel that his pants were warm on my shoe. I could feel his shit through my fucking shoe. That was disgusting. Thank God nothing got on me. And thank God I didn't have to see what the bottom of his pants looked like. Nobody's taking pictures of him. Nobody's taking video of him. Nobody's saying anything to him. Thank God a Japanese man stepped in and realized I needed help and got the man off of me. I wish I could have got his name and number or something, properly thanked him. I did thank him, but properly do, because I really owed him. Because if he didn't, I wouldn't have been able to get off at my stop. And that was a long train ride too. So I was already on the train for like literally an hour and a half, and it was going to take me another like 10-15 minutes before I was going to have the next train stop. That was really going to fuck me up, because I was going to have to wait for the next train to come, and the train did not run often there. If you're taking that line, I forgot what it's even called, that Kobe line. On the that blue line, was it called the Kobe? It might just be called the Kobe line, whatever it was called. I hated taking that train. Anyway, it's like, they don't have a problem with that. You would think they would ban public drinking, and they would make it where they limit how many alcoholic drinks you can get at bars and clubs and karaoke places, right? Because look at how many drunks y'all have out in the streets, people getting sexually assaulted, raped, robbed, all this type of stuff is happening because they allow people to drink as much as they want to. And this is literally contributing to a dirty environment. Vomit on the streets in the morning. Vomit on the trains at night and in the morning. On the seats. Yes, y'all don't mind people doing that on the seat. But God forbid some dirt from outside gets onto, the fucking bench on the seat. Gets on the fucking seat bench or whatever. On the train. That's the end of the world, right? I don't know about you, but I'd rather have a little scuff mark on my pants from somebody's dirty shoe than to have vomit on my ass from somebody vomiting on the seat before me. Or piss on there too. Get the fuck out of here. So, I'm just so irritated, y'all. I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. I agree. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I might feel petty enough to do it again. If they don't nip this in the bud, I hope that after me complaining to a manager tomorrow, that this problem never happens again. But, should it happen again? We're going to go a little bit further. I will literally go back to my house, because I live right across the street. I will take my trash in, and I will throw it on the counter. Two could play this game. I'm sorry, I'm being petty. I'm tired of this shit. I'm so tired of it. So, I'm just so irritated. And again, see, they'll tell the story, and I know some of y'all weebos in my comment section are going to be defending the Japanese. They'll tell the story and tell your part. I threw my trash at him. And when I say at him, I didn't literally throw it at him, at his person. I literally threw it on the counter. A receipt. And then, of course, I left the one receipt that he got from me without even asking me if I wanted it. I should also add too. So it's like, if I do that, I'm bad. But see, he's not wrong for purposefully discriminating and making a difference between me and the other customer. That's okay. I have a problem with that. I will never feel like that's okay. And I feel like the reason why these things go on is people don't confront the Japanese. When they do rude and bad stuff, we bitch about it on Twitter. We bitch about it, amongst ourselves. Even myself. We'll make a video about it, right? Why don't we ever confront them? We could argue, oh, well, it's Japanese culture. I agree. They may never do anything. But I want them to know what they did was wrong. I want to confront them. I want them to realize. For example, my review that I left. Okay, well, clearly some changes took place because there seems to be more positive reviews since then. And I said that inside my comment section. I was like, I don't want this restaurant to close down. I actually enjoyed the food. Was it worth the amount that we paid? No. And it's fake Wagyu, I should also add too. But I enjoyed it. It was good. Was it worth that much money? Probably not. It was kind of expensive. But I will also say, even though it was kind of expensive, if the staff was nice, I would have been willing to keep going back to the place. I liked it. I enjoyed myself. After writing that review, I got a response from the owner. Well, guess what? Even if they never change anything, it felt good for them to acknowledge they fucked up. They need to do a better job training. If nobody tells people, hey, the staff are rude, guess what? Changes never take place. The Domino's that's, near me too, guess what? Ikebukuro, Domino's, they didn't fuck around with that. Manager replied, apologized, said they work on it. Gave them, a gift card probably too, because I know how they normally give you the little free 2-liter or whatever when they fuck up. So it's like, if nobody says shit, how do you expect change? If you're just going to silently complain about it in your mind or amongst your own. So, I'm irritated. And again, they could never do this in the U.S. Like, it's weird. Japan acts like how the U.S. was, like, after the Jim Crow era had just ended, and they were having to, integrate, and they were having to serve black customers and whatnot. Like, spitting in people's food and doing little petty small things like that. I feel like Japan is the exact same way. It's like, they're mad that they have to serve you, that you're here, that they have to be around you. So they purposefully go out of their way to be passive and make you as miserable and make you want to go home, make you feel like shit for being in the environment. They make differences. See, that was a silent difference. He didn't openly say anything. He didn't huff and puff. He was quiet. I can see a happy white person completely ignoring this and be like, oh, thank you so much, arigato. And, you know, writing a wonderful review. Oh, I had these wonderful snacks at my basket. Meanwhile, I don't just speak Japanese. I understand the culture. I knew something was wrong. I was like, no greeting when coming into the store. No greeting when coming to the register. No ask if I have a point card. No ask if I want a bag. No questions. No thank yous. No bows. When I go here on weekdays, for some reason, both the female and male staff are very nice, very energetic. They use the fake customer service, high-pitched voices. They do all the shits and giggles. They bow. They actually put the bag in my hand directly. They do everything that they don't have to do, right? That they don't have to do. Why don't you? Now you could argue, oh, I don't have to do this. And I don't know what their manual is. Maybe they're not required to do all of those things. But if you're going to do it to one customer that's Japanese, why are you not doing it to me? In fact, I kind of want to send my husband, I wish he was here right now. I want to send him in to confirm that the problem is me. And send him in without me. Like, without me being in the store, without us being together. That's the other thing too. I don't even know if, I know that the girls on weekdays know that I'm married to Yuichi, but I don't think that the weekend staff knows, because normally when I go there, I'm by myself. So normally on weekdays I'm by myself too, but like sometimes we do go to the stores together late at night, get some snacks for playing Mario Kart. But anyway, I'm so aggravated, you all. I'm hurt. I'm sad because again, I love Japan. I love this country, but I also recognize it has flaws and problems. And even like just thinking about the fact that jobs and houses, again, I know some weebs gonna be like, oh, it's not legal, shut up. It's just like with prostitution. Sure, it's not legal on paper, but if you allow people to do it right in the fucking public, like it doesn't have to be under the radar, sorry, but it's legal. It's not like how strip clubs are in the US or whatever, where it's like they know that there's other activity going on. Like, no, it's very obvious out in the open what's going on inside these places. They know the Yakuza involved. They know, and this is the way it goes in Japan. For those of you guys that don't know, Japan goes like this. It's government, Yakuza, police for decoration. The people really in control is the government. And the government is tied together with the Yakuza here. This is the reason why these places still exist. That's why they'll never shut them down. They're in cahoots with each other. They're tied together. The police are underneath the Yakuza. They pretend to police them. They don't. If they wanted to shut the shit down, they could easily do it. The Japanese are not very smart with their shadiness in comparison to how people are in the US, where if you do get caught, you're looking at lifetime, crazy sentences and whatnot. Here in Japan, tap on the wrist. Here in Japan, they'll see themselves. They know you're doing wrong. They know that this person went to this bar, got robbed, got SA'd. They're not going to do shit. They know who works there. They send in undercover cops to these places. The worst they get is a little tap on the wrist. They don't shut down these establishments. Why is that? Well, there you have it. So, it's useless. They have lots of laws here. For example, sure, it's not supposed to be legal to discriminate, but they do, and they get away with it. They have laws on coercion here, which sounds like a joke when the Japanese are literally professional brown nosers. And what I mean by that is, they are forced to do things they don't want to do all the time, especially in the workplace. Try suing your boss for coercion. Good luck with that. You ain't getting nowhere with that. So, like even with cheating, like people think that, oh, you can sue your Japanese spouse for cheating. Sure, and I talked about that before too, but when you really think about it, the amount of evidence you have to have is ridiculous in comparison to what we need in the US. For example, you have to have basically pictures and videos showing the act going on, or showing them having like some sort of sexual conversation, whatever. It's basically impossible. Unless your partner is an extreme idiot, you're not going to get that sort of evidence from them, especially if they stop what they're doing during the process of you all going through divorce or whatever. So I can go on about this forever. Long story short, a lot of foreigners get fooled into believing Japan protects their people. This isn't legal. And it's like, yeah, it's not legal on paper. But who cares about laws if they're not obeyed and followed? You can say it's not legal to do something, but if everybody does the illegal thing, it's basically legal. Sure, you're not legally allowed to sell, I'm not going to explain, fleshlight services, alright, we'll call it that. But if you know that people are selling fleshlight services at these brothels, then guess what? It's legal. If you're not shutting it down, you're not arresting these girls. And mind you, they get somebody every once in a while, but I feel like it's just for show, to make the public feel like they are doing something. And also conveniently, can't help but to notice, they normally only crack down on the foreigners doing it. Interesting. So, for example, there's been Chinese girls, there's been a Canadian girl. They care about when foreigners break the rules. But see, if they do it, turn a blind eye. Up, I didn't see Sachiko selling her pussy. Nope, I didn't see that. Shoot, they probably paying for it themselves. So, anyway, I'm shocked. I'm really shocked. I'm shocked at myself for doing that back. I'm shocked at the experience that I literally was able to see the difference between me and that other Japanese customer that went before me. And yeah. And it also hurts me knowing that he probably told his coworker, they're laughing it off and telling him how, rude I am, whatever. And it's like, no, tell them the whole story. See, they don't do that. They don't. They tell the part that makes them look good. For example, Jimbe, he didn't tell his friends why I left the house. He didn't tell the police why I left the house. He even cleaned up the house before he called the cops, because I waited there for a good minute. I was thinking he was going to come eventually. I was like, he's just mad. He's probably crying, whatever. This nigga was cleaning up the house. And I only know that because the police let me in the house. They escorted me to get my personal items, because I did leave some hygiene products. So they probably thought I was just being petty, but it's like, look, I'm broke. I need my body wash. And I need my towel. I need myself. I ain't got money to replace this shit right now. So, but yeah, it's like this nigga straightened up the whole house in the meantime, trying to look like he's all together and whatnot, and sitting all nicely with his hands folded on the bed and whatnot. It's like, what a weirdo. I hope your ass get played by a gold digger to take half of everything from your ass. He was a nepo baby. He had serious money. He did go out and make a name for himself, became a CPA, but his daddy had money. They basically owned a bunch of rental properties and land and whatnot, and so he inherited that. I think his father died of everybody that I meet here either has cancer or died of cancer. It's a lot of cancer in Japan. Yeah, all of my exes. All of them. My ex-fiance, his father had something. I don't think it was if it was cancer, he didn't die of it. But yeah, it's weird. But anyway, but now I see why. Y'all evil as fuck. Some of y'all niggas deserve it. So, but between being an alcoholic, I get that part of stomach cancer and whatnot, but just evil people all the way around. And it's so phony too, because again, these same people, for example, that guy, he was all nicey smiley with the Japanese man. You would never think that he has a racist bone in his body. So this reason why I'm assuming that Japanese people, for the ones that are telling the truth that may not know, they act so nice to their own. You would never think they're prejudiced to other people, because he was super friendly and nice to the guy before me. So, ooh. It's people like that actually make you a little bit appreciative of the annoying Japanese people that insist on speaking to you in English, because at least they're not prejudiced. At least you think they're not. But yep, it makes you appreciate it, because when you come across assholes like that, it makes you not even want to live here or visit here. So, but yeah, understand that yes, while they do have the tray there and they can use it to put the money on without being racist, everybody that puts the money in the tray is not a racist asshole. Don't get me wrong. It's hard for me to explain, but there's a difference. For example, I went to the drugstore near my place, and there was a new girl that was being trained. And when she gave me back my change, she did put my change and my receipt inside the tray. But she was being nice to me the whole time. And I don't think that it was anything to do with the fact that, I'm a foreigner. I think that was just the way she was doing it. I don't even keep tabs. It's normal. I didn't see what she did to the girl before me. I wasn't paying attention. She was being trained by a manager. I paid no mind to, and she was very nervous. She kept forgetting things. For example, she forgot to to scan 2 different items inside of my basket twice. And then I think she forgot to give me one of the items that I had paid for. She didn't put it inside the bag, and she left it inside the basket. She just kept making mistakes. She was nice, though. I didn't see her as being, racist. So don't get me wrong, I'm not playing Miss Snowflake and acting like everything is so sensitive, but I'm also not dumb. I shouldn't have to pretend like I have no feelings, though, either. And mind you, again, don't get mad at me when you wouldn't get mad at a Japanese person. If they're allowed to vent and have their grievances, have their anger towards small first world problems, then I am too. Japan is also a first world country, and also they're a first world country that has no first world friends, because their best friend is considered to be the U.S., and we do not consider Japan to be our best friend. Our best friend, I think, is either the UK or Canada. I don't remember, but anyway, with that said, it's 2 first world countries talking shit about each other. So if they could talk shit about my country, I could talk shit about theirs. Fair game. And if y'all want to have the title of being so polite and respectful, then sorry, I'm going to challenge that for you. If you're truly so polite and so respectful, then explain to me why y'all treat me like shit then. Because I didn't do shit to you. You don't know me. You've had no bad experiences with me. I don't even have a big YouTube channel, so I doubt that you've even seen my video or something like that. And if anything, it's even if you did, wouldn't that make you want to be nicer to me on purpose? Because if you for example, I had a Japanese guy. He might have unsubbed to me at this point, that messaged me, and I screenshot our message, FYI. So I don't know why people think that they can say crazy shit to me and then unsend it or whatever. It's y'all do realize that I keep everything, male or female, especially female, because y'all be the main bitches. Nope, I have proof of every conversation I've ever had with any of y'all hoes. But anyway, yes, he messaged me, and he was trying to get me to sleep with him, and then he got scared When I turned him down, and like he jokingly said that he knows I'm gonna make a video talking, I was like, yeah, I am. And mind you, this Japanese guy, he had a whole YouTube channel showing foreigners Japan and, you know, vlogging and walking and talking. I'm like, wow, all of these Japanese people, when I was Japanese, all these foreigners watching this man's content when he's literally using you all for sex. And then he tried to kind of make it seem like I'm this crazy person for telling my life stories here, and it's like, he didn't say anything bad to me, but like he implied like, oh, like, you know, he saw my videos or whatnot. He kind of laughed it off. And it's like, you're literally proving what I'm saying to be true. Because you literally contacted me trying to sleep with me. Interesting that they don't do this with their own people. They specifically go after foreigners. So, sorry guys, my mom's calling. Let me stop this video. And then I'll get back to you guys. Okay, this video was getting way too long, so I decided to break it up into about 2 different parts. I might actually do 3, so we'll continue the next part later. So yeah, I'll link it down in the description box below. If you're watching this in the future, it'll be like the top pinned comment or something like that. Just search on my channel and you'll be able to find the second part to this video. So yeah, stay tuned.